W. Harley Miller Systems understands the need and desire for reliable and affordable smart home solutions. Secure your home with a security system and keep a close eye on your family. Automate your home with a Control4 system and have smart technology work as one. Set daily schedules to control your thermostats. Push a button and set the mood for dinner by dimming lights and playing music, or just sit back and enjoy a movie in your own home theater. Put decades of experience to work for you. Visit us at whmsystems.com or call 304-350-1931.
Burke, Schultz, Harmon, and Jenkinson. We're accident, injury, and disability lawyers with over 120 years combined local trial experience. When injury or illness has stopped you from working, you may be eligible for Social Security disability. Ron Harmon has been winning disability claims for over a quarter of a century. Don't hire some out-of-state firm. Ron Harmon's in Martinsburg. He will meet with you right here in our office. Get a local lawyer you can trust. Call 304-LAWYERS for a free consultation. 304-LAWYERS or 304-263-0900.
Happiness grows here. Orr's Farm Market.
Visit us at Orr's Farm Market, just 5 miles west of Martinsburg, to pick up all your local fresh fruits and vegetables. With our in-house bakery, fresh fruit slushies, and apple cider donuts, you can't go wrong. Live bluegrass every Saturday from 12 to 5 p.m. And check out all that's local and delicious at Orr's by going to orrsfarmmarket.com or visit our Facebook page.
Happiness grows here. Orr's Farm Market.
A DUI arrest can have a devastating impact on one's life, your job, your driver's license, and in some cases your very freedom. My name is Harley Wagner. I own and operate West Virginia's only exclusive DUI defense firm. Since 1999, I've been representing citizens throughout the Eastern Panhandle and state of West Virginia charged with DUI. Let my years of training and experience work for you.
The initial consultation is free at the Wagner Law Firm in Martinsburg. Phone 304-901-7400 or online at westvirginiaduilawyers.com.
The following sports special is a broadcast presentation of Talk Radio WRNR Martinsburg.
Dear Lord, the battles we go through life.
Dear Lord, the battles we go through life.
We ask for a chance to fair.
We ask for a chance to fair.
Chance to equal our strife. Chance to do it there.
Chance to do it there.
We should win.
We should win.
Let it be by the code.
Let it be by the code.
Faith and honor held high.
Faith and honor held high.
We should lose.
We should lose.
Stand by the road.
Stand by the road.
Cheers when winners go by.
Cheers when winners go by.
Day by day.
Day by day.
We get better and better.
We get better and better.
So we can't beat beat.
We can't beat beat.
Boom, beat, beat.
Who let the dogs out? It's time for the excitement of West Virginia high school football, featuring the AAA Martinsburg Bulldogs. To get you ready for today's play-by-play action, we'll bring you interviews, in-depth analysis, and important game information on the pregame show. So let's get things started by going to the stadium and join our Talk Radio WRNR broadcast team.
One more win, and it's time for Wheeling Park at Wheeling Island Stadium. Another trip on the line for Martinsburg to get to another state championship. But first, they have to go to enemy territory today. Good afternoon, Colin McLaughlin for Talk Radio WRNR. Alongside me is Dylan Bishop. Our crew today is Donna Schaffner, as well as Braden Schaffner, and down on the field being our sideline reporter and sideline camera Spencer Dupuis. Back at the studio, it's Nick Verzolini as we welcome you into the pregame show brought to you by W. Harley Miller Systems, providing custom integration services like home and office automation, home theater, networking, audio, video distribution, and more. Phone 304-350-1931 or visit whmsystems.com. It is Martinsburg, the number 3 team in Class AAA, on the road today for the first time this year in the playoffs, taking on number 2, the Huntington Highlanders, in a rematch of last year's state championship game. And Dylan, we finally get to see these two teams square off. It's a 4-1 record in the favor of Martinsburg when these teams have met in the postseason, and hopefully today, just like last year, it's another high-scoring affair for the Bulldogs.
Right, I think this is going to be a really fun matchup today, Colin. Obviously, in last year's state championship game, you had Hudson Clement scoring 8 touchdowns against the Highlanders. But the thing for Huntington today that they're probably glad to see, Hudson Clement's not here anymore. Hudson Clement's down in Morgantown at WVU. But the Bulldogs, they reload and they reset, just like they have this year. Only 2 losses this year coming against teams outside of the state of West Virginia. So they've yet to face a team in the state that has been able to get the win against them and really knock them off the pedestal of being known as the best team in the state as they try to defend this championship and go at it again. But again, this is a home game for the Highlanders today. It's not a neutral site game on Wheeling Island. So I think this is going to be a fun matchup. They're going to have to really look out for Huntington's quarterback today, Gavin Lacco, their running back Zaza Jackson, wide receiver Wayne Harris. They've got a lot of playmakers on offense that are going to be tough for this Martinsburg defense to handle, but we've seen all year the run defense, especially of the Bulldogs, has been their top asset, and this Highlander team likes to run the ball. Lacco doesn't just throw the ball, he likes to run the ball too. He's 9 yards short of 1,000 yards rushing on the season, 14 rushing touchdowns, and their running back Zaza Jackson 1,100 yards, 14 rushing touchdowns of his own. So it's going to be a run-heavy game for the Highlanders. They're going to see if they can get out wide and try to attack the outside of this Bulldogs defense.
And you mentioned at the start of your point there, no Hudson Clement, and who can forget the 8 touchdowns last year in the state championship game. 4 through the air, 4 on the ground. But you got to then remember and focus in on a little detail that I'm going to mention here, Dylan. 4 through the air. That means it was 4 touchdown passes to him, 1 more to Barrick, so 5 touchdown passes in that state championship game. So even though there's no Barrick, no Hudson Clement, you still got the quarterback that threw those 5 touchdown passes, and that is the senior Ezra Bajent out on the field today looking to lead Martinsburg to another state championship game. And everybody's excited to see him out on this field in enemy territory for a first time in a long time when it comes to the postseason, as the 23-game win streak for Martinsburg that dates all the way back to 2016 is on the line when it comes to playoff football.
Yeah, and of course, you've got Ezra Bajent out on the field in warm-ups right now for this semifinal game. You've got Tyson Bajent out on the field at Ram Stadium in Shepherdstown right now trying to defend the regional championship for Shepherd. It's a big day for the Bajent family, and we know that when the postseason comes, the Bajents come up big.
And we'll keep you as updated as we possibly can for that Shepherd game, as we usually have that on TV 10 and WRNR TV on YouTube. But with Martinsburg today being on Talk Radio WRNR and WRNR TV on YouTube, we are unable to obviously have both because we can't be on 2 sides of the state at once. But with that being said, Dylan, why don't you quickly give everybody that's tuning in an update, even though it might change here shortly, it looks like, unless that's Shepherd going out of the end zone, or is that Slippery Rock trying to pound its way into the end zone?
I believe Slippery Rock just ran in a 1-yard touchdown to tie this game up, pending the extra point. It was 14-7 Shepherd, and they just looks like they got into the end zone, made it 14-13 with the extra point coming.
So let's now get into our check of the area schedule, or excuse me, the check of the playoff schedule, brought to you by Sunset Water Services, proudly installing water softeners in Martinsburg and Berkeley County since 1989. And let's start with AAA. The game that we'll have for you is Martinsburg at Huntington, the number 3 against the number 2 seeds in Class AAA. Also going on this afternoon at Parkersburg South as the Patriots host the number 4 seed Hurricane Redskins, and the winner of that obviously plays the winner of this game next Saturday at noon on the island for the state championship.
Extra point for Slippery Rock blocked.
So there you go. It remains 14-13, but let's now go to AA. There was one game last night, and it was number 2 Independence getting a big win against number 6 North Marion by a final score of 58-19. So number 2 Independence remains undefeated on the season, gets to head to Wheeling Island next week on Friday night. They'll play the AA state championship, and Independence is waiting for the winner of number 9 Herbert Hoover as they take on number 5, the Frankfort Falcons today in that AA semifinal. And both games already took place in Class Single A. It was number 1 James Monroe getting a 27-7 win against number 5 Wheeling Central yesterday, and number 2 Williamstown getting a 53-21 win over number 11 Doddridge County. That means next week, Saturday night, is the Single A championship game, and it's between number 1 James Monroe and number 2 Williamstown. That is your check of the area schedule for today, as we are about 51 minutes away from kickoff between the Martinsburg Bulldogs and the Huntington Highlanders. Let's step aside for a 4-minute break, and on the other side of that break, we'll be back to break down the Huntington Highlanders. You're tuned in to West Virginia High School playoff football on Talk Radio WRNR and WRNR TV on YouTube.
W. Harley Miller Systems understands the need and desire for reliable and affordable smart home solutions. Secure your home with a security system and keep a close eye on your family. Automate your home with a Control4 system and have smart technology work as one. Set daily schedules to control your thermostats. Push a button and set the mood for dinner by dimming lights and playing music, or just sit back and enjoy a movie in your own home theater. Put decades of experience to work for you. Visit us at WHMsystems.com or call 304-350-1931.
Brown Funeral Home is proud to be one of the hundreds of veterans and family memorial care providers across America participating in the 13th annual Christmas Stockings for Soldiers and Veterans Initiative. From now through December 1st, please stop into the funeral home and pick up a free Christmas stocking. You may stop by the funeral home Monday through Friday between the hours of 9 a.m. and 7 p.m. to pick up your stocking to take home, decorate, and stuff with Christmas cheer. You will receive a list of recommended items along with the free stocking. Brown Funeral Home will deliver the stocking at their expense to troops abroad and veterans here at home in time for Christmas. Brown Funeral Home is located at 327 West King Street in Martinsburg.
Hello, this is Mark Sutton of the Sutton & Janelle Law Firm. The right attorney can make all the difference in your case. That's why you should call Sutton & Janelle. We have been serving clients in West Virginia and Maryland since 1999 in the areas of family law, DUI, criminal defense, and personal injury. Sutton & Janelle works hard to obtain a favorable outcome for you at a reasonable rate with affordable payment options. Sutton & Janelle values your rights and is passionate about your success. Contact us today at suttonandjanelle.com.
If you or someone you know suffers from the disease of addiction, help is available from the Berkeley County Quick Response Team with peer recovery coaches and support promptly to the homes of those who've recently experienced an overdose. This collective effort towards recovery brings resources and services to the community, including naloxone and treatment options. Call 304-267-1313 or visit the Berkeley County Recovery Resource Center, 400 West Stevens Street, Martinsburg. The Berkeley County Quick Response Team is funded through a DHHR grant with the Berkeley Morgan County Health Department. You've put up with your water long enough. It's time for Sunset Water Services, your local water solution since 1989, to fix your water problems. Get better tasting, better smelling, and better looking water today. Say hello to drinking your own delicious water for pennies per gallon. Say yes to healthier skin and hair and to softer and brighter clothes. Sunset Water Services delivers your bags of salt to you, so they'll save your back too. And our products come with a 1-year satisfaction guarantee. Call 304-754-9031 for a free water quality test today. SunsetWater.com.
Hi, this is Lauren from Orsini's right here in Martinsburg. Grilling is not just for the boys. We are a Platinum Traeger dealer carrying the Pro Series all the way up to the Timberline Series. We have every flavor of wood pellets along with accessories, rubs, sauces. Not just Traeger, we carry Utz, Meat Church, Lanes, and Dizzy Pig. We also carry a full line of Yeti products. Orsini's has everything to complete your backyard. Visit us at 360 Hack Wilson Way or at Orsinis.com.
For you guys who wait till the last minute to buy her gift, check out our winning play that scores big in your home on Christmas morning. Ready? Hike into your car, rush to our store, but don't speed. Then we huddle over the cases, pick the perfect gift, wrap it, and hand it off to you. You rush out with the winning gift held tight, and on Christmas morning, you hand it off to her. She opens it, and baby, it's a touchdown. She loves it. Ready for the winning play? Come see us at Bechtel Jewelers, Route 11 South, Inwood.
October is Safe Sleep and SIDS Awareness Month. WVU Medicine Berkeley Medical Center and Jefferson Medical Center are joining in the effort to promote healthy sleep habits for newborns and raise awareness about sleep-related risks to infants. The Birthing Center Safe to Sleep team at Berkeley Medical Center and Jefferson Medical Center have both earned distinction as Gold Certified Safe Sleep Champions by the National Safe Sleep Hospital Certification Program. If you are a parent of an infant, the first thing you can do to help create a healthy sleep environment is to clear the crib.
Welcome back to Huntington High School, West Virginia High School playoff action featuring your Martinsburg Bulldogs and the Huntington Highlanders. Colin McLaughlin alongside me is Dylan Bishop. Our crew is Donna Schaffner, Braden Schaffner, our main camera man. Down on the sideline, Spencer Dupuis being our sideline camera, as well as our sideline reporter. He'll have Coach Sherman at the half and the post game with interviews, and back at the studio it's Nick Virgilini, who you will also hear from at halftime, as well as during post game, giving some college football scores, some high school football scores as well. Let's now break down the Huntington Highlanders, a team 11-1 overall on a 11-game win streak, as that one loss was at the start of the season at Spring Valley by a final score of 29-28, and it was a game-winning field goal, I believe, late that got Spring Valley that win. But since then, this Huntington team has looked really good, Dylan, and you didn't expect anything else with a lot of their guys returning from last year's state championship runner-up team against this Martinsburg Bulldogs team that got the win.
Right, Gavin Locko, especially at quarterback, is really dynamic. He's committed to go to Dayton next year, Division I. So he so far this year has 32 touchdown passes on the year, and the reason that it might have heard me hesitate to put that out there is because he's only thrown 166 passes this year. Put that into perspective. Ezra Bajent, 37 touchdown passes this year on 257 passes. So nearly 100 less passes on the year for Locko, and he's thrown just 5 less touchdown passes than Ezra. And then you look at the rushing stats for him as well. He's the leading carrier on this Highlanders team, 105 carries for 991 yards and 14 rushing touchdowns. The guy's got 46 total touchdowns this year. Really, really incredible performance this year from Locko. So he's going to be tough to handle today, but also he's not their leading rusher in yards. He has just 9 short of 1,000, but at 1,162 on 103 carries, it's Zaza Jackson, number 5, that you'll see out of the backfield today. Also 14 rushing touchdowns on the year. So they have that dynamic duo in the backfield. Sure, they can do some zone read type stuff where you don't know which guy is going to get the ball until one of them pulls it away and you see where the ball is going. So it's going to be tough for those guys setting the edge for the Bulldogs today to figure out how are you going to try to contain this dynamic duo in the backfield. And then you got to worry about Locko throwing the ball as well, especially to number 6, Wayne Harris, who on just 47 catches this year has 971 yards and 16 touchdown catches on the year. So he is a really good receiver that Locko has gone to all year. No one else on this Highlanders team has more than 18 catches on the year, and that's Malik McNeely, who has caught 6 touchdowns on those 18 catches. So every third catch for him has been a touchdown. So when he does get it, he gets it into the end zone a good bit.
But you mentioned that ground attack from both Zaza Jackson and Gavin Locko, and we've mentioned it every single broadcast this year, especially during the playoffs, because each team that Martinsburg has had to go up against is a run-heavy team so far. Morgantown like to run the ball. Bridgeport, basically all they do is run the football. They'll throw the ball maybe 3, sometimes 4 times in a game, but you got to remember that run defense has been outstanding so far for Martinsburg, only allowing 57.83 yards per game on the ground for their opponents, Dylan.
Yeah, I mean, it's just been a really good team effort up front to stop the run, but of course they've been led by Rashad Reed, the EPAC Player of the Year on the defensive side of the ball. Over 20 tackles for loss on the year, 6.5 sacks. But, I mean, you can't just focus in on him because you got guys like Aiden Fleming, Eric King, Wes Hancock, Xerxes Yancey, and then the linebackers behind him, Cam Shallis and Jimmy Harden, Dominic Brinkley and Braden Herring as well. So all contributed to stopping the run before it can really get into that third level of the defense. So it's going to be a tough task for the Highlanders offensive line today. How are you going to be able to handle Reed? Are you going to double Rashad Reed? Because most likely you do that, then you're going to have to feel the wrath of guys like Fleming or Hancock or King or Yancey up front. And then that opens things up for the linebackers to come in and blitz. So you have to watch out for that as well. So it's going to be an interesting strategy to see what the Highlanders do with the ball. How much are they going to run the ball? How much are they going to pass the ball? Are they going to see that the Bulldogs have such a stout front line in the middle there to where it's tough to run just up the gut on this team? Are they going to try to run it out wide? Are they going to pass the ball more, see if they can get Laco to, when his receivers aren't open, at least he can run the ball out wide, scramble, make things happen, try to throw the ball down the field after that, let receivers get open, or just run the ball himself down the field and try to pick up yards with his legs.
I agree, and here in about a minute or so, we'll hear from Billy Seals, who's in his 14th season at the helm of this Huntington Highlanders team, a record of 111 wins and 54 losses for him. So got to hear from him, a great interview that hopefully everybody will enjoy, just getting to know more about this Highlander team this year and how much that they've grown after the 62-21 loss in the state championship game last year against Martinsburg. So now let's step aside, take that break, unless you have one final point that you wanted to quickly mention about Huntington, Dylan.
I wanted to talk about the defense a little bit. Zaza Jackson also has 5 interceptions on the year, one the return for a touchdown. And he also has a kickoff return for a touchdown. And Devontae Crawford also has 4 interceptions on the year, someone that we might not see too much of on the offensive side of the ball.
Alrighty, there you go. So let's now step aside for that break. Again, at the other side of this 2-minute break, we'll hear from Billy Seals, the head coach of the Huntington Highlanders, and then after that it'll be another 2-minute break, and then we'll be back to break down your Martinsburg Bulldogs. You're tuned into West Virginia High School playoff football on Talk Radio WRNR and WRNR TV on YouTube.
Happiness grows here. Orr's Farm Market.
Visit us at Orr's Farm Market, just 5 miles west of Martinsburg, to pick up all your local fresh fruits and vegetables. With our in-house bakery, fresh fruit slushies, and apple cider donuts, you can't go wrong. Live bluegrass every Saturday from 12 to 5 p.m. And check out all that's local and delicious at Orr's by going to orrsfarmmarket.com or visit our Facebook page.
Happiness grows here. Orr's Farm Market.
With 4 new car dealerships and 4 used car dealerships in 3 states, Parsons is the largest used car and fastest growing new car dealer in the tri-state area. Take Parsons Ford with huge savings on hundreds of new Fords, financing from 0%, Parsons' goal of financing for all, and Parsons' famous above-market trade-in allowances that help make Parsons #1 for used cars too. See why so many won't buy anywhere but Parsons Ford in Martinsburg. We became #1 by making you #1 first. Parsons.
If you're in an accident, the first thing that you have to do is call 911. You have to get medical care immediately.
The next thing you need to do is call us. When you hire us at the Skinner Law Firm, what we do is we are going to investigate your case, and we're going to lay out the options that you have, all at no cost to you.
We will use all of our resources and all of our experience to get you what you deserve.
The Skinner Law Firm, SkinnerFirm.com.
Welcome back to the W. Harley Miller Systems pregame show. It's now time for the coaches' interviews, brought to you by Parsons Ford of Martinsburg, located at 1400 Shepherdstown Road and online at parsonsford.com. They became #1 by making you #1 first. Parsons. I'm now joined by the head coach of the Huntington Highlanders, Coach Billy Seals. Coach Seals, another impressive win for your team last week to get to the state semifinal with a 51-7 win over Jefferson. So let's start off with what you like from your team in last week's win.
Well, I thought our guys were very businesslike. I felt like all week long that our guys were kind of locked into what we needed to do to win the football game. And, we knew it was going to be a challenge. And our guys just came to work each and every day and just continued to get better each day at practice and played really well on Saturday afternoon.
Your team now improves to 12-1 with that win, a 12-game winning streak after the season opening loss to Spring Valley. What'd you like from your team, just adversity after that and now rolling in throughout the entire season?
Well, I think after that game, we talked with our guys after the Spring Valley game, and, we told them that, 4 or 5 plays won that football game, and Spring Valley made all those plays. And so we just needed to get back to work and realize it's, at that point of the season, it was just the first game, and we had a long season ahead of us, and really just encouraged our guys to go back to work on Monday and be 1-0 the following Friday night. So, that's kind of been our approach for multiple years is, just being 1-0 each week and not looking past what happened in the past or future opponents, just taking it week by week.
What are the strengths for your team, both offensively and defensively?
Well, I think offensively for us, I think our offensive line's getting better. It was a question mark to begin the season. I mean, we had to replace 4 starters on the offensive line, with Robbie Martin being the only returning starter. We felt like offensively that obviously when you have a kid like Gavin Locko, who's been a 3-year starter in your program and a really, really good football player at quarterback, you feel good at where you're at. And, we knew Zaw Jackson was going to continue to take strides at the running back position. And he's done that this year. I mean, I think he's averaging 10 or 11 yards a carry. He's gone over 1,100 yards this year. And then, at the receiver spot, Dwayne Harris has had a phenomenal year, has 19 touchdown receptions this year and has went over 1,000 as well. Has played really well for us. And then, there's other guys, Malik McNeely, kid that didn't play for us last year, came back out this year and has had a big year for us. There's no substitute for size at the receiver position, and he's about 6'3", and so just proud of our guys and what we've been able to accomplish on the on the offensive side of the ball here during the season.
Again, in the state semifinal this week, you guys get to host it and take on the Martinsburg Bulldogs for a rematch of last year's state championship game. I know it's early in the week right now, but what have you seen from Martinsburg when you've been able to study film on these Bulldogs?
Well, typical Martinsburg football team, very, very physical in the line of scrimmage. We feel like that their offensive and defensive line is the best we face, bar none. Obviously, they got a dual-head quarterback there with 13 and 2. Both are really, really good, phenomenal athletes out on the edge. I think their defense is by far and away the best defense we've played this year. So it's going to be a big challenge for our program. We're excited about getting the opportunity to play again, and regardless of whoever the opponent was, we're in the state semis and get a chance to get back to Wheeling Island for the 3rd time.
How nice will it be to have home field advantage in this one?
Well, I think with them, for us, obviously, we would much rather be at home than making that 6-hour trip. And it's a tough place to play. Our community always does a tremendous job of supporting our guys and our students and our faculty and staff. And so, again, we're just excited to get to practice on Thanksgiving week again. This is the 5th time since 2013 we've been able to do that. So, it's one of our goals. On our goal board, it's goal number 11, practice on Thanksgiving, and goal number 12 is win a state championship. So we've gotten through a lot of those goals throughout the season, and just looking forward to spending another week together and continuing to get better and prepare for a great Martinsburg football team.
What's your team need to do to get the win, Coach?
So we can't beat ourselves. I mean, if you go back and look at the state championship game last year, I think we were -4 on the turnover margin or -5. We can't do that. We got to be able to take care of the football. Can't give up explosive plays on defense. They're very, very explosive in the run game and the passing game. And then offensively, just be able to run the football, pick our spots, take what they give us, and special teams are going to be huge as well. As we all know, Martinsburg's very, very good in special teams. And so we've got to play well in all 3 phases, win the field position battle and things like that. But our kids are excited to get an opportunity to play again, and I know our staff is excited to play, whether people like it or not. It's the icon of AAA football is Martinsburg. I mean, they've dominated AAA football for over a decade now, and we're fortunate and excited about the opportunity to get to play them.
Alrighty, Coach, any final thoughts?
No, sir. Hope you guys have a safe trip down.
Alrighty, thank you and good luck. Appreciate the time.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
That was the coaches' interviews brought to you by Parsons Ford of Martinsburg. They became number one by making you number one first. Parsons will be back for more of the W. Harley Miller Systems pregame show. After this, you're tuned in to West Virginia High School football on Talk Radio WRNR and WRNR TV on YouTube.
Ollie's VIP North Side is the best spot to catch all your favorite teams. Join us Monday for Dollar Wings and Monday Night Football, Thursdays on the patio for the Cornhole Tourney, Friday Night Lights with happy hour specials, or Saturdays during or after the college games for Steak Night. Get a ribeye or New York steak for just $26.95. Ollie's has great food and drink menus too, along with 17 TVs to watch any game of your choice from anywhere at the bar or their outdoor patio and fire pit. So stop by and see for yourself today at 36 Veronica Drive in Martinsburg. That's Ollie's VIP North Side. We'll see you for the game.
When will I be able to retire? How do I make the most of the money I have? How do I leave a lasting legacy to my loved ones? I'm Philip McCoy, financial advisor with the Mirius Group, a private wealth advisory practice of Ameriprise Financial Services Incorporated. Call us today at 304-263-4343 to help you make the most of your financial future. Our office is located at 1270 Winchester Avenue, Martinsburg, West Virginia.
Ameriprise Financial Services Incorporated, member FINRA and SIPC.
Mayhem is everywhere.
I'm your new bangs, and you can't stop staring at me. That's it. Just tilt the rearview mirror over here. And while you're checking me out more times than a library book, your car is wandering into that lane over there. More bangs? Neat. And if you've got cut rate insurance, you could be paying for this yourself. So get Allstate.
Call Martinsburg Allstate agent Gary Kelly today at 304-263-4596.
With 4 new car dealerships and 4 used car dealerships in 3 states, Parsons is the largest used car and fastest growing new car dealer in the tri-state area. Take Parsons Ford with huge savings on hundreds of new Fords, financing from 0%, Parsons' goal of financing for all, and Parsons' famous above-market trade-in allowances that help make Parsons number one for used cars too. See why so many won't buy anywhere but Parsons Ford in Martinsburg. We became number one by making you number one first. Parsons.
Half an hour away from kickoff between your Martinsburg Bulldogs and the Huntington Highlanders for the Class AAA state semifinal. Winner heads to Wheeling Island for the state championship next week, as Martinsburg trying to make another state championship game. It'd be the 14th in program history right now, searching for that 10th state championship title, as they're 9-4 in the 13 state championships that they've been to. And let's now talk about this year's team, the Martinsburg Bulldogs, led by Ezra Bajan at that quarterback spot. And already mentioned him a little bit, but as I briefly mentioned earlier, even though all the receivers had scored the touchdowns in that 62-21 win last year, in Hudson Clement as well as Jacob Barrick, he still had 5 touchdown passes in the state championship game last year between these two teams, Dylan. And let's look at Zion Grantham as well as the weapons that he has around him.
Right. It's been a big-time performance from this entire receiving core for the Bulldogs this year. Really been led by Buzz Dover and Jameer Hunter, both with double-digit touchdown catches on the year. Jameer Hunter, maybe the most dynamic player when it comes to having the ball in his hands in the entire state. He's got 819 yards and 13 receiving touchdowns on just 36 catches so far this year. So he's averaging almost 23 yards every time he catches the ball. And then he's added on 6 touchdowns in special teams, 4 punt return touchdowns and 2 kickoff returns. And then he also has 7 interceptions as a corner on the other end of the field. So all 3 phases of the game, he has just been incredible all year. For my money, the best player in the state of West Virginia that I've seen this season. And then, of course, Buzz Dover has been great for them because he can do so much after the catch. He's shifty. It is not the same kind of way that Jameer Hunter makes plays after the catch. It's just sort of little side steps here and there, uses some power even to make plays. Buzz Dover's just 3 yards short of 800 receiving yards on the year. He's got 10 receiving touchdowns.
Yeah, and he had 101 last game.
Right, exactly. And then you look running the ball as well. Murphy Clement has 11 rushing touchdowns with 600 yards. So on just 85 carries as well. And then Zion Grantham, 2 yards short of 700 on the year and 6 rushing touchdowns. But he's also been doing really well catching the ball these last few games. He's up to 365 receiving yards on the year. So he's now over 1,000 total yards on the season is Zion Grantham, which has been big for them as well.
Alrighty, we'll get ready to take another break. And on the other side of that break, you'll hear from the head coach of the Martinsburg Bulldogs, Britt Sherman, as well as our in the huddle segment with 2 Martinsburg Bulldog players. But before we go to break, let's give you another scoring update between Shepherd and Slippery Rock. With 1:05 left in the second quarter, Slippery Rock has just taken a 20-17 lead after another touchdown pass. So let's step aside for a break, and then we'll be back and get ready for kickoff between your Martinsburg Bulldogs and the Huntington Highlanders. You're tuned into West Virginia High School Playoff Football on Talk Radio WRNR and WRNR TV on YouTube.
You've been in an accident. Why won't the insurance company pay? Because they're trying to save money at your expense. Call Mansion Ferretti for your free consultation. We have the experience to deal with the insurance company and get you the compensation you deserve. Mansion Ferretti, when you need justice.
Hello, this is Mark Sutton of the Sutton & Janelle Law Firm. The right attorney can make all the difference in your case. That's why you should call Sutton & Janelle. We have been serving clients in West Virginia and Maryland since 1999 in the areas of family law, DUI, criminal defense, and personal injury. Sutton & Janelle works hard to obtain a favorable outcome for you at a reasonable rate with affordable payment options. Sutton & Janelle values your rights and is passionate about your success. Contact us today at suttonandjanelle.com.
What came first, the chicken or the egg? No matter what you think, you can have it either way. Rock's new bagel croissant and chicken waffle breakfast sandwiches are made fresh every morning. Rock's local market.
Rise and shine. You're gonna be late for work. Good morning, sleepyhead. Have a good one.
Rock's new bagel croissant and chicken waffle breakfast sandwiches are made fresh every morning. Rock's local market.
The Palace Lounge in Martinsburg is the place to be. Join us every night to relax and enjoy football or basketball games featuring either the Martinsburg Bulldogs, Shepherd University Rams, or West Virginia Mountaineers. We will have steak night every Wednesday, trip nights every Thursday, and now taco and margarita nights every Tuesday. You can find us on Facebook or call 304-267-7520. The Palace Lounge is located at 1350 Edwin Miller Boulevard in Martinsburg. We welcome you back to the W. Harley Miller Systems pregame show. It's now time for the coaches' interviews brought to you by Parsons Ford. They're located at 1400 Shepherdstown Road and online at parsonsford.com. They became number one by making you number one first. Now joined by the head coach of the Martinsburg Bulldogs, Britt Sherman. Coach Sherman, hard-fought win last week, 21-3 against Bridgeport. Another low-scoring game against them, but what'd you like from your team overall?
Well, I thought we played really butch. I mean, we were stout up front. Rashad Reed, Wes Hancock, Eric King, Aiden Fleming, all those guys right there in the middle of the defense. I mean, it all started with them defensively up front, and I really liked what we saw out of them defensively and just be able to control the line of scrimmage against a team that runs the ball every play.
And then on the offensive side, Ezra had a pretty solid performance, 3 touchdown passes, only 10 incompletions. What do you like about the offense overall?
Well, I like the completions. There was a couple of incompletions I didn't like a whole lot, and a couple of times we threw it to the other team I didn't like a whole lot. But, you know, we're still progressing. I don't think we've peaked yet offensively, but I thought we did all right the other night. But, you know, there's still a couple of things we need to work on. But, you know, we go as he goes. And, you know, I get on him probably harder than I get on anybody else on the team because, you know, we go as he goes, and we're going to score as many points as what he's capable of leading us to.
So you just mentioned some things that you guys still need to work on. What are some of those things this week?
Well, what's you'll say? It smells like team spirit. Let's see. You know, some days we practice really, really well in certain aspects. Some days we don't. We really need to work this week on keeping their quarterback in the pocket. There's some things we need to work on. But offensively is, you know, just seeing our reads and anticipating things and throwing the ball on time. I think we've had good protection up front. I mean, we didn't have any sacks in the game the other night. So even though we are going to see a different beast this week, we need to throw the ball on time. We're going to be playing really good athletes this week, and so we need to be crisp with that kind of stuff.
Other than their quarterback and Laco, who are some of those athletes that you've seen so far?
Well, they moved the Jackson kid, who's got multiple D1 offers, even last year as a freshman. They moved him into the backfield, so now they have a really dynamic quarterback running back combo that we really have to key on. But then they have athletes out wide that if we just focus on them, that they can make plays as well, with the Harris kid and a couple other kids.
Last year, you guys met up in the state championship. Got the win, obviously. What's the difference between last year's Huntington team and this year's Huntington team that you've seen?
Well, it's just a lot like us. They have a lot of key players back, but they've also lost a couple key players. So what's the chemistry of their team this year compared to what it was last year? And we're not going to be playing them in Wheeling. We're going to be playing them on their home turf. So that's going to be different as well. They're not going to have to travel, stay in a hotel. They're going to get to sleep in their own beds. So, they're probably going to be a little bit more comfortable than what they were up there last year playing. But, once the ball's kicked off and once we're on the grid, I think that, all that other stuff will take over and hopefully that our schemes and things like that will do the same thing that we did last year.
What's the shape of your week looking like this week for the team, since, as you mentioned, it's down in Huntington this time, not the state championship, but the state semifinal instead on the road?
Well, we're going to do the exact same thing that we would normally do for a championship travel week. We'll practice here, and then we'll travel. We'll eat dinner. We usually go to like the AA game, like at the championship game, but we'll do some type of function like that, and then get up, eat breakfast, get to the stadium early, stretch our legs, and get ready to play. This week is, it's always great to practice on Thanksgiving week, and I think real football. If you think of football season, real football, people practice on Thanksgiving, play on Thanksgiving, some of the games and stuff. So, this Thursday we have our team breakfast instead of dinner, and then we practice early, and then we let the guys go spend time with their families. And so that's special, and being able to practice this week and then hopefully continue on the next week. It's going to be the same travel schedule. The only difference is we'll be going south this week and hopefully north next week.
What's the keys to get the win this week against Huntington for your team?
Definitely control, keep the quarterback in the pocket, and not let him hurt us with our legs. And then we'll have to drive the football against these guys. They're a lot more athletic than some of the other teams we've played more recently, and we'll have to drive the ball and not make mistakes.
Alrighty, Coach. Anything else?
I just want to thank you guys for all the coverage this season, and thank our community and thank Bulldog Nation for all that they've done for us. The Bulldog Bash was extremely successful. We've gotten a lot of donations so far for our equipment building. We're still taking those, and just appreciate everybody.
How can people donate for the equipment building? Just
get in contact with Randy Brown through our social media, or I know his number was posted a lot during the Bulldog Bash, but get a hold of him. He's our booster president, or Stacy Kaufman, our booster secretary, or myself. And right now we have lumber donated. We're still looking to get trusses, bricks, doors, all that stuff donated if possible, and then we'll get some guys to put it together.
Alrighty, Coach. Thank you, and thank you for your availability and the availability of the players this year as well.
No problem.
This has been the Coaches Interviews, brought to you by Parsons Ford. They became number one by making you number one first. We'll be back for more of the W. Harley Miller Systems pregame show. After this, you're tuned into West Virginia High School football on Talk Radio WRNR and WRNR TV on YouTube.
Radon is the second leading cause of lung cancer deaths in the United States each year. But do you know the radon levels in your home? Home is a place to live, love, and laugh, not a place to breathe air containing radon. The Berkeley and Morgan County Health Departments are distributing free confidential radon test kits, and you can get yours at the Berkeley County Health Department office in Martinsburg and the Morgan County Health Department office in Berkeley Springs. Protect your home and family. Get your free radon test kit today.
I'm Jonathan Bodwell, Bodwell Insurance Solutions, your local Medicare and life insurance agency. We are here to help you navigate the Medicare maze. We represent all of the major carriers, and you do not pay any more to go through us than if you go directly through a carrier. But if you go through us, you have a local professional to help you with all your Medicare needs, not a voice that could be in some other part of the world. Bodwell Insurance Solutions, your local Medicare agency. BodwellInsuranceSolutions.com or 304-283-0864.
Looking to buy a home in the Eastern Panhandle? Thinking about making that big move but don't know where to start? Then call Chris Ross and the Milestone Real Estate Group. Chris is a Martinsburg High School graduate and knows the local market, and he's proven it for the past 15 years at Milestone Real Estate Group. Looking to sell or buy a home? Phone 304-579-7349. That's 304-579-7349. Or go to callchrisross.com. Making milestones is our business.
With Honda, every summer adventure is the destination. Take your adventures even farther with Honda, America's most fuel-efficient full-line automaker. For a limited time, well-qualified buyers can get a 2.9% APR on a 2022 Honda Civic and a 3.9% APR on a 2022 Accord or 2023 HRV.
CMA's Honda of Winchester, 3985 Valley Pike. CMA, moving lives forward.
See dealer for financing details. Exclude Civic SI based on EPA estimate of MY20 full-line automaker fleet-wide fuel economy 2021 EPA Automotive Trends Report.
We welcome you back to the W. Harley Miller Systems pregame show. It's now time to go in the huddle, brought to you by the Marius Group of Ameriprise Financial Advisors, John Everson and Phil McCoy. They're located at 1270 Winchester Avenue, or you can call them at 304-263-4343. I'm now joined by the Martinsburg Bulldogs, Rashad Reed. Rashad, what a game for you last week, man. 12 total tackles. You and the rest of the defensive line up front absolutely dominant over Bridgeport as expected. What'd you like from that win?
I just liked how we used everybody. Like, everybody was able to do what they were best at, based off of perfection. Wes ate up double teams. Aiden kept contained. Eric kept contained. I just think as a whole defense, we did very great.
Now, you and the defensive line as a whole are feared in the entire state, it seems like. Everybody knows your guys' names one by one. And it's been a nightmare of a season for any team that tries to run against you guys. Just talk about the chemistry and how it's been overall this year for you guys.
Definitely, first coming in, it was a little off, but now that I've actually sat down, ate dinner with the guys, played with the guys, it's been better, and it's got better throughout the season. And now, like, normally I go hang out with Aiden or Wes. Just now I have more of a bond with the team compared to when I first came here.
What have you been working on with this team as well since you just came here this year?
Most of the things I've been working on kind of just being like my stance, my weight, hands, mostly hands. I've noticed watching myself play, I've gotten way better with hands and footwork. So I think me coming here was just helping me get my basics back to where they're supposed to be.
So it's been a while since we talked to you for the pregame show. So what are some of the goals that you've already accomplished, and what are some goals that you still have in place with hopefully the final 2 games of the year?
Yeah. Number one goal, get a ring. It's kind of at the top of the list. Go play for the next level, obviously. But more of this season, I do want to work on just doing more, doing better. There's always a way to improve, and I'm working to get myself to the peak to where I can't get any better. But goals I've made, I was kind of surprised when I got the EPEC Defensive Player. I wasn't expecting
again,
it.
By the way.
Thank you. But now I know that I've worked enough, but now I know I have to work even more.
You mentioned that second goal. You want to play at the next level. Any
put that first
word yet? No, it's all right.
Yeah.
You can have that at second right now. Ultimate team goal is a nice goal to have.
Yeah.
But
I
know you're a junior, so I just wasn't sure if there were any looks yet. It definitely will be coming after this season, that's for sure.
Yeah. I went towards the beginning of the year. I went and talked to JMU. Went to one of their games on a Saturday with some of the guys on the team. But other than that, no other words.
What's been your favorite moment so far this year?
Probably have to say beat teams on their own field. It's just something about going into somebody's home and just taking the dub from them.
All right. Well, you have an opportunity to do that obviously this week in Huntington. So what's the game plan for you guys this week?
Game plan this week, probably doing a three front, a little bit of this and that. But I think we're going to try to make it more stop pass and run, because run we can do that. But think we're going to focus more on the pass and putting everybody where they're strongest at.
So last year, Martinsburg played Huntington in the state championship. You obviously weren't here, but what's been the talk around the locker room about getting a rematch against these guys and making sure that they can't get revenge?
Everybody's a little eager. They all want to just go on there and smack them around, but I hope it's a good game for my personal, because I just like having good competition. So, I mean, they've been talked. They're not cocky about it. Like, they know they're a decent team and a good team. So everybody, it's 50-50. Everybody wants to play them. Some people think it's going to be a blowout. It's everywhere.
Appreciate it. Anything else, man?
No, sir.
All right, thank you and good luck. I'm now joined in the huddle by Buzz Dover, wide receiver and cornerback of the Martinsburg Bulldogs. Buzz, outstanding performance. Let's start offensively for you last week, over 100 yards receiving. What'd you like about your performance and the team's performance overall, man?
Just how the quarterback was getting me the ball when he seen me open down the field and just coming up big on the big third down conversions to get us to that next first down, to get us to the first down.
So now you got 10 touchdowns overall this year, man. What's been your favorite part so far this year for you guys?
Just getting the ball and just scoring, because last year I ain't score at all. So now having 10 touchdowns is just showing people what I can do now.
What do you feel like some of your strengths are and the strengths of this team?
Route running and just catching the ball over people and just really yak.
I've noticed that as well. Your yards after carry, especially when it comes to the screen passes, and your shiftiness is something that is really impressive out there on that field. How do you work on just your footwork and making sure that those yards after the catch are as high as they are this year for you, man?
Just getting up the field. I really just get the ball and get up the field, try to get as many yards as I can, and just look for the openings and try to run behind my man Rashad Reed on the screen.
Just talk to him. So It's been a fun season to see both of you guys out there. But who are some guys in the professional level that you really try to model your game after?
Jerry Jeudy, Odell Beckham, and some college receivers I model myself as is Marvin Harrison Jr., kind of Ohio State. That's what I really like right now.
Alrighty. Last week, obviously, got the win. Defensively, you've been on top of things, really being a lockdown defender. How does that transition your game as a whole to play on the defensive side, not only the offensive side?
I just always been playing corner all my life, so just being able to get that opportunity to do it again in my junior year was just, I'll take advantage of it. Just had to take advantage.
Which side of the ball do you enjoy being on most?
Scoring touchdowns. I like scoring
I feel like
touchdowns.
it's an easy one. So, I mean, defensively you could get that. Maybe we'll see a pick six for you this week. How does that sound?
I got it.
Taking on Huntington. What are you most excited about for this week's game?
I heard they like to throw the ball, so if they test me, I'm going to get that. I'm going to get that pick, hopefully.
Alrighty, man. Anything else?
Nothing.
All right, appreciate it. This has been In the Huddle, brought to you by the Mayor's Group of Ameriprise Financial Advisors. We'll be back for more of the W. Harley Miller Systems pregame show. After this, you're tuned into West Virginia High School football on Talk Radio WRNR, WRNR TV on YouTube.
Jambo Construction and Fencing Company, LLC, is a veteran-owned and operated company right here in the Eastern Panhandle, West Virginia, that specializes in decks, fencing, and hardscaping. Find us on Facebook at Jambo Construction and Fencing to see more of the projects we've completed. For a free estimate, you can call Bo Bartley at 304-268-5452 or Jamie Gall at 304-279-5053. We are licensed and insured in the state of West Virginia, and as Martinsburg alums, we say, Go Bulldogs.
Hi, it's Talk Radio WRNR and TV10 Spencer Dupuis. When I got into a car accident and needed to get another vehicle, I wanted to go somewhere I could trust. So I went to the Heffley Motor Company at 993 Hedgesville Road.
As a first-time car buyer, I really didn't know what to expect. But at Heffley, they treated me like family. Every step in the process was seamless. Not only did they give me a great deal, but they also helped me secure an amazing interest rate. Now I know firsthand why Heffley has such a great reputation in this community.
I ride with Heffley Motor Company, so you should too.
Let's go! Drink some beers! Mountaineer Grill and Pub!
Conveniently located right off 81 at 214 Mid-Atlantic Parkway, Mountaineer Grill and Pub offers many daily specials, including happy hour 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. with $2 domestic bottles and $2.50 domestic drafts. Monday night is trivia night, Thursday night is wing night, and Wednesday and Sunday night is steak night.
Let's go! Drink some beers! Mountaineer Grill and Pub!
Welcome back. As the national anthem concludes from the Huntington Highlanders marching band, we welcome you back to Huntington High School for today's semifinal matchup in Class AAA between your Martinsburg Bulldogs and the Huntington Highlanders. And let's quickly get into our keys of the game. The key to your next car is brought to you by the Heffley Motor Company, located at 993 Hedgesville Road in Martinsburg. You're local, we're local, so why not buy local? Spencer rides with them, so you should too.
So let's start on the Huntington side of things. I think the Highlanders' key for their offense is because they're going to want to be able to stay unpredictable. You don't want to be able to let the Martinsburg Bulldogs shut down certain aspects of your game. You want to be able to keep that balance between passing the ball with Lockout, running it with Lockout, and him handing the ball off to Zaza Jackson. And then for their defense, they're going to need to get pressure on Ezra Bajan. If you let the Bulldogs' offensive line stonewall you up front, he's going to have all that time to get the ball to guys like Murphy Clement, Jameer Hunter, Buzz Dover, Zion Grantham. When it comes to the Bulldogs, their defense needs to try to keep Gavin Lockout one-dimensional. Don't let him run the ball all over you. Keep him in the pocket. Don't let him get those direct snaps at QB, those runs, those zone reads. Keep him contained, and then win the turnover battle on defense. Make the Highlanders turn the ball over.
All right, let's now get our starting lineups brought to you by Jambo Construction and Fencing LLC, a veteran-owned company that specializes in decks, fencing, and hardscaping. For a free estimate, you can call Bo Bartley at 304-268-5452. Let's start with the offense for the Huntington Highlanders. Led by the quarterback, number 3, Gavin Locko. In the backfield, it is number 5, Zaza Jackson. Wide receivers are number 6, Wayne Harris, number 10, Malik McNeely, and number 81, Miles Meters. Up front, you got number 73, Robbie Martin, number 51, Tyrus Mayo, number 65, Will Elk at center. On the right side of the line is number 70, Jesse Adkins, and number 59, Gavin Adkins. Defensively, you got Adkins, Jackson, Martin, and Garrett up front. Your linebackers are Williams, Price, and Carter. And in the back of that secondary for Huntington, it goes Zaza Jackson, Wayne Harris, Avante Crawford, and Jonathan Jackson. For Martinsburg, it's the same as it has been for the majority of the playoffs. You got Peyton Kaufman at the left tackle, Aiden Fleming as left guard, Will Bass is your center, Rashad Reed's the right guard, and your right tackle is Wes Hancock. Quarterbacks Ezra Bajan, running back Zion Grantham, and your wide receivers are Buzz Dover, Jameer Hunter, Roman Pearson, and Murphy Clement. Your defense is Aiden Fleming, Rashad Reed, and Eric King up front as the starters. Your linebackers are Cam Schaus, Jimmy Harden, Dominic Brinkley, and Braden Herring. And in the secondary, it's Roman Pearson, Jameer Hunter, Avion Blackwood, and Buzz Dover. Let's now take our 2-minute break and then be back for kickoff between Huntington and Martinsburg. You're tuned into West Virginia High School playoff football on Talk Radio WRNR and WRNR TV on YouTube. We're back in 2 minutes.
Brown Funeral Home is proud to be one of the hundreds of veterans and family memorial care providers across America participating in the 13th annual Christmas Stockings for Soldiers and Veterans Initiative. From now through December 1st, please stop into the funeral home and pick up a free Christmas stocking. You may stop by the funeral home Monday through Friday between the hours of 9 a.m. and 7 p.m. to pick up your stocking to take home, decorate, and stuff with Christmas cheer. You will receive a list of recommended items along with the free stocking. Brown Funeral Home will deliver the stocking at their expense to troops abroad and veterans here at home in time for Christmas. Brown Funeral Home is located at 327 West King Street in Martinsburg.
Happiness grows here. Orr's Farm Market.
Visit us at Orr's Farm Market just 5 miles west of Martinsburg to pick up all your local fresh fruits and vegetables. With our in-house bakery, fresh fruit slushies, and apple cider donuts, you can't go wrong. Live bluegrass every Saturday from 12 to 5 p.m. And check out all that's local and delicious at Orr's by going to orrsfarmmarket.com or visit our Facebook page.
Happiness grows here. Orr's Farm Market.
And that concludes today's pregame show.
We play every play like it's the most important play of the game. Who let the dogs out?
Coming up next, it's the starting lineups, opening kick, and play-by-play action of West Virginia high school football featuring the AAA Martinsburg Bulldogs. Today's game is being brought to you by
Bechtel Jewelers, the Brown Funeral Homes and Cremations, Chris Ross with the Milestone Real Estate Group, the Skinner Law Firm, Hagerstown Ford, the Mansion Ferretti Law Firm, the Mirius Group of Financial Advisors, Orsini's Home Store, Parsons Ford of Martinsburg, Sutton and Janelle, attorneys at law, CMA Honda of Winchester, and WVU Medicine.
And now, let's go back to the field and rejoin our Talk Radio WRNR broadcast team.
To the second half, so it will be Martinsburg to receive the opening kick. It will be defending the right end zone, trying to score in the left end zone, which will be defended by Huntington. Huntington, green helmets with gold face masks, all black uniforms today for their blackout theme in the state semifinal game. So black pants, black uniforms with gold numbers on the front and back. For Martinsburg, the black helmets with the white tops for today with the black numerals, and the gray pants with the orange stripe down the side. Both teams step out onto the turf field in Huntington, West Virginia, as we get ready for kickoff. On to kickoff for the Huntington Highlanders is Johnny Ai. Back to return for Martinsburg. On the near side of the field, it's Jameer Hunter. And on the far side of the field, it's Sarad Musgrove. Those two lined up at the 10-yard line at each side hash marks. And Ai is ready to kick off for Huntington as we wait for the official to blow the whistle. And we get ready for the opening kick between Huntington and Martinsburg. It's a short end over end kick that is caught on the far side by Martinsburg. And return man goes from the 30 up towards midfield, and it is Coy Fagan with the catch. He'll be tackled in the middle of the field at the 39-yard line. It'll be a 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs offense. They say that he got the ball actually at the 40-yard line of the Bulldogs.
So here we go. We'll see what kind of strategy the Bulldogs have to come out with on this first scripted drive of the game.
So it's Bajan and the Bulldog offense out first. Ezra Bajent, the quarterback in shotgun formation. He has Zion Grantham to his right. That looks like 3 receivers to the far side, but we have to make a substitution as Murphy Clement, it looked like, had something wrong with his uniform, so he had to step off, and Blackwood stepped on. Now Blackwood has to step off, and Cam Shallis will check in, so not sure what's going on that far side. One receiver to the near side, Jameer Hunter for Martinsburg, 1st and 10 from the 40. Bajent gets the snap, drops back the pass. It's a screen pass on the far side, caught by Dover, who's immediately stopped for a loss on the play of a yard. Maybe he got back to the line of scrimmage at best, but it brings up a 2nd and 10.
He made a little bit of a second effort there to get back to the line of scrimmage, but that is about it. A little confusion. I'm not sure what the issue there was, or they had to make 2 substitutions out.
But now Clement can come back in, so he and 2 other receivers are on the near side. So it's trips to the near side, 1 receiver to the far side, 2nd and 10 for Martinsburg. The Bulldogs get the play call from that far side of the field on the numbers being held up by 2 players and a coach. Bajent gets the snap, hands it off to Grantham. Grantham slips and is stopped right at the line of scrimmage to bring up a 3rd and 10. In to make the tackle was Mayo.
Some well-scouted defense so far by the Highlanders. They know that Martinsburg likes to go to those screen passes early in the game. They had that stopped on 1st down, and then they were ready for the run up the gut with Grantham on 2nd.
Excuse me, that was Caillou Jackson in on the tackle alongside Gavin Adkins. That brings up a 3rd and 10 with 10:45 to go in the first quarter. Bajent has Grantham to his right side in shotgun formation. 2 receivers to each side of the formation. Bajent high snap, bobbles it, hands it off to Grantham, or hands it off to Clement. Clement chucking it deep for a wide open receiver on the far side. It's caught at the 25-yard line and into the end zone. Touchdown, Martinsburg. The Bulldogs strike first, and it's a 6-0 game with 10:24 to go. And it was Buzz Dover with the catch from Murphy Clement.
That is an incredibly creative play call right there, because twice last week against Bridgeport, Martinsburg ran that end around with Murphy Clement where he kept the ball himself and ran for yardage for himself. This time we know that Clement can throw the ball, and Buzz Dover was wide open down the field when he tried to throw that one down there. Incredible play, working off of what you've done before and put on tape.
Martinsburg sets up originally in the Shih Tzu formation, now goes back to the traditional point after, and the point after attempt from Terwilliger is up and good. Make it 7-0 Martinsburg with 10:24 to go in the first. We'll step aside for a 60-second break. You're tuned into West Virginia High School football on Talk Radio WRNR and WRNR TV on YouTube.
This is Ben Copenhaver, your local alarm professional at Dynamark Atlantic Security. Did you know that home break-ins are 6% more likely during the day? That's right. The bad guys know when you're away, and they are smarter than you think. Dynamark Atlantic Security has the security solutions for you. Don't commit the error when the game is on the line. Phone me today at 304-671-2158 to learn how to play good defense against the bad guys. Dynamark Atlantic Security. Call today at 304-671-2158.
I'm Jonathan Bodwell, Bodwell Insurance Solutions, your local Medicare and life insurance agency. We are here to help you navigate the Medicare maze. We represent all of the major carriers, and you do not pay any more to go through us than if you go directly through a carrier. But if you go through us, you have a local professional to help you with all your Medicare needs, not a voice that could be in some other part of the world. Bodwell Insurance Solutions, your local Medicare agency. BodwellInsuranceSolutions.com or 304-283-0864.
Welcome back to Huntington High School. Your Martinsburg Bulldogs strike first on a halfback handoff to the wide receiver Murphy Clement, who then threw the touchdown pass to Buzz Dover to make it 7-0 with 10:24 to go in the first. After a 4-play drive that went 60 yards, and your scoring drive summary brought to you by Orris Farm Market, family-owned, family-grown. Happiness grows here at Orris Farm Market, located at 682 Orr Drive in Martinsburg. Terwilliger's kickoff, a short end-over-end kick that is fair caught on the near side at the 30-yard line by Wayne Harris, and that's where Huntington, the Highlanders.
I'll tell you, Murphy Clement coming into this game, passing the ball, had only thrown 24 passes this year, 13 completions for 152 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. So I'm going to start this game 1 for 1 for 60 yards and a touchdown to Buzz Dover. Is really incredible.
So Laco leads out Huntington's offense. He has Graves at running back behind him. 2 receivers to the far side, a tight end on the near side. Play action pass. It's a quick slant. Caught by Zaza Jackson. He goes out to the 50-yard line before being tackled by Pearson as well as Musgrove. But it is a 20-yard gain for a first down, Huntington.
Looked like your classic RPO there, run-pass option. Had the option to give it to Graves there, but he looked up and saw that Zaza Jackson was open on the slant, so he threw it there for that 20-yard gain.
Huntington breaks the huddle. 2 receivers to the near side. Laco in shotgun formation with Graves to his right. Sends a man in motion, but Fleming jumped early on the line of scrimmage, so it will be an encroachment penalty against Martinsburg to make it a 1st and 5 and put Huntington in Bulldog territory at the 45-yard line. It looked like Fleming just saw Zaza Jackson going in motion, and that kind of got him to jump early, trying to read that jet sweep potentially.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to see a lot of motion, a lot of different looks from Huntington today. Try to keep this Martinsburg defense on its toes.
Bunch formation, 1 receiver to each side, 2 tight ends set. Laco sends a man in motion from right to left, but he hands it off to Graves, and Graves goes up the middle, out across the 40, and he has the first down by a yard at the 39-yard line. It's a 1st and 10 for Huntington.
So we know that Zaza Jackson has really been a big-time runner this year for them. Not a lot of receptions this year, only 15 catches, but know that he used to be a wide receiver that they moved back into the backfield.
Huntington breaks the huddle, 1st and 10 with 9:15 to go in the first. It's Laco in shotgun formation. This time he does have Zaza Jackson in the backfield, lined up behind him and slightly to the left. 2 receivers to the far side. A little bit of a slow snap to Laco, but he halfback tosses it to Jackson, and Jackson on the far side of the field has space before getting pushed out of bounds at the 28-yard line, and it's a 12-yard pickup for a first down again for Huntington.
I think this is a really smart strategy so far by Huntington. They're pitching the ball outside, getting their running plays out wide, away from that defensive line of the Bulldogs that has caused so many teams so much trouble.
So 1st and 10, they say he stepped out at the 29-yard line. Huntington in Bulldog territory. 1 receiver to the near side, 1 to the far side for Laco. He sends Jackson in motion, fakes the speed option, keeps it himself but will only gain about 2 yards to bring up 2nd and 8 as he was tackled up by the defensive line of Martinsburg at the 27-yard line.
Again, it's going to be really big for them to make sure that Laco does not get himself going on the run. If they can at least slow him down, make it so you're only worried about the running back when it comes to the rushing attack, then you can focus in on him when he tries to step back and pass.
It was Rashad Reed in on the tackle. He had 12 tackles in total in the win against Bridgeport last week. Huntington breaks the huddle. It's Laco with Graves to his left and Jackson behind him and 2 receivers to the near side of the formation. Laco gets the snap, hands it off to Jackson, and Jackson stopped at the line of scrimmage and a late flag thrown. And it might have been either a face mask or maybe a horse collar as Reed, along with Fleming, was in on the tackle.
Well, that's the Bulldogs' defense worked to what it usually does there.
And it is a face mask penalty against the Bulldogs. That's the 2nd penalty so far.
They were able to contain that rushing attack up front when they go up the middle. It's again, that's 2 straight runs towards the middle of this, towards the teeth of this Bulldogs defense, and that haven't really worked out. But of course, a penalty there just kills you.
Brings up a 2nd down and 2 after the 5-yard penalty. 8 minutes to go in the first. It's Martinsburg 7, Huntington nothing. 5 wide set for Laco. He sends Jackson in motion, keeps it himself, and he's sacked. Martinsburg read it perfectly as it's Eric King and Kai Fegan in on the tackle, and it's a loss of 3 on the play to bring up a 3rd down and 5.
Huntington ran there a play that we saw a lot from Musselman this year with Baden Hartman, where it's an inverted veer. The quarterback's reading the middle of the defensive line to decide whether to hand it off or to run it himself. But they added some motion in, a jet sweep, instead of just having a running back next to him.
Ball on the 25-yard line of Martinsburg for Huntington, who has 5 wide. Again, Laco looks to send a man in motion, but Harris goes back. He looks for Harris in the middle of the field, and he makes the catch at the 6-yard line. 1st and goal, Huntington. As Pearson tried to put a hand in there to break up the pass, but Harris was able to bring it in and hold on to it as he went to the ground.
Yeah, he was the one in motion before the play there. Just kind of gave him a little bit of a double move there. Pearson, it was tough. Harris, some quickness there. Good route running to get himself open.
So 1st and goal for Huntington. Ball on the 5-yard line as the Highlanders break the huddle. It's Laco in shotgun formation. Graves behind him. 2 receivers to the near side. And an H-back on the left. He hands it off to Graves. Graves goes up the middle, but stopping him is Aiden Fleming as he grabs both legs and brings him to the turf. It's a gain of 3 to bring up 2nd and goal at the 2.
So looking, Dietrich Graves only has 42 carries on the year for 205 yards. So I don't think he's normally your bell cow running back back there. It seems like they're giving him a lot more today, trying to get Zaza Jackson out around, really move him around, do some creative stuff with him.
2nd and goal at the 2-yard line. 6:10 to go in the first. Graves and Jackson in the backfield with Laco. Laco gets the snap, hands it off to Graves, and Graves powers his way. Is he in? They say he was stopped half a yard short. That'll bring up 3rd and goal at the half-yard line as Martinsburg's front on the defensive side stayed strong.
Yeah, it's just really tough to run up the middle on this team. If you only got 1 or 2 yards to go, that's usually your go-to play there, is just a run up the middle. It's reliable to get it 1 or 2 yards, but against Martinsburg, not so much.
3rd down and goal. Huntington breaks the huddle at the half-yard line, trying to tie it up. Is Gavin Laco in shotgun formation with Graves to his left and 2 receivers to his left as well. He hands it off to Graves, and Graves, untouched, goes into the end zone. Touchdown, Huntington, with 5:22 to go. It is now Martinsburg 7, Huntington 6.
That was an impressive drive, I got to say. That was an impressive drive. This is Huntington's scripted plays. Usually teams script out the first 10 to 15 plays of the game on offense. So let's see what ends up happening as they get into the more improvised plays for the rest of the game.
But now things might get a little interesting on the extra point, as a flag against Huntington for an illegal substitution will back them up 5 yards. So now the extra point is a 25-yarder instead of a 20-yarder for II. Johnny II sets, the hold, the kick is up, and it is good. We are tied at 7 with 5:22 to go in the first, and we'll take a 1-minute break. You're tuned into West Virginia High School football on Talk Radio WRNR and WRNR TV on YouTube.
You've been in an accident. A distracted driver put texting over safety. Your injuries, loss of income, and medical bills can last a long time, even a lifetime. Our job is to try and secure justice that will protect you and your family for the rest of your life. Mansion Ferretti, when you need justice.
Jambo Construction and Fencing Company, LLC is a veteran-owned and operated company right here in the Eastern Panhandle, West Virginia that specializes in decks, fencing, and hardscaping. Find us on Facebook at Jambo Construction and Fencing to see more of the projects we've completed. For a free estimate, you can call Bo Bartley at 304-268-5452 or Jamie Gall at 304-279-5053. We are licensed and insured in the state of West Virginia, and as Martinsburg alums, we say, go Bulldogs.
Welcome back. We're now tied at 7-all between Martinsburg and Huntington, as Huntington scored on a 1-yard touchdown run from Graves to tie things up, and it's Johnny II on to kick off. Back to return from Martinsburg is Jameer Hunter and Sherrod Musgrove. 5:22 to go in the first quarter as II makes his steps back for the kickoff for the Huntington Highlanders. II's kick, short end-over-end kick, and it's caught by Fegan at the 30-yard line. Fegan tries to follow some blockers, has some space out across the 40 before being stopped at the 42-yard line. Let's now quickly get you your first quarter sponsors as were presented by Chris Ross and Milestone Real Estate Group. Buying or selling a home, call 304-579-7349 or go to callchrisross.com, as well as Sutton and Janelle, attorney at law. Full-service law firm helping individuals, families, and businesses with all of their legal needs. They're at 224 West King Street in Martinsburg. Visit suttonandjanelle.com for more. 1st and 10, ball at the 42-yard line for Martinsburg. It's Bajent in shotgun formation. Grantham to his left. He sends a man in motion now as 2 receivers to each side. Looks to the near side. Caught by Hunter. Hunter jukes past 1 tackler. Still on his feet. Churning yards out across the 50. At the 49 is where he stopped. But back at the line of scrimmage is a flag, and it's an illegal shift against Martinsburg, so the play will be negated on the Bulldogs' 3rd penalty of the day.
We're putting them 5 yards behind the sticks again. So it's going to be something you can't make mistakes. I think this is a really good Huntington team. It has athletes that can match up with you. They're going to be able to score points today, unlike a lot of the other teams that Martinsburg plays. So you're not going to be able to put yourself behind the sticks.
1st down and 15 now for Martinsburg. With under 5 minutes to go in the first. Bajent gets the snap, tosses it to his right side to Grantham. Grantham has some blockers in front of him, gets out across the 40 at the 39-yard line, or excuse me, the 41-yard line. So while they say he went, so that'll bring up a 2nd down and 11.
So we're still in the process of Martinsburg playing out their own scripted plays that they start the game out with. Like you said, usually about first 15 or so. Get yourself going, set things up for later in the game. See what happens here.
Trips to the near side, 1 receiver to the far side for Bajent. Bajent tries to get somebody to motion from Huntington, unable to do so. Now he looks to the far side to get the play call from the coaches. Under 10 seconds to go on the play clock. He now puts Grantham to his right side, gets the snap, it's high. Bajent able to recover it, immediately hands it off to Grantham. Grantham slips off 1 tackle, but only can get to the 45-yard line, so a 3-yard gain will bring up a 3rd down and 8 for Martinsburg.
I think it's been a little harder for Grantham to get something going so far. I think the defensive line for the Highlanders has been able to do pretty good work up front and not let those holes open up that Grantham a lot of times can run through.
Ezra Bajent in at quarterback. He has Grantham to his right, 3 receivers to the near side is Brinkley, Clement, and Pearson. 1 to the far side, Jameer Hunter. Dropping back to pass as Bajent steps up in the pocket, fires a dart in and out of the hands, almost intercepted by Wiz Ty of Huntington. That'll bring up a 4th down for the Bulldogs.
That was close. Very close. He was looking for Murphy Clement there while Pearson and Hunter were running mesh there, 2 drag routes coming across and interlocking with each other. Just wasn't, it was good coverage by Huntington.
3:19 to go in the first. It's Martinsburg 7, Huntington 7. 4th down and 8 at the 45-yard line for the Bulldogs, and they're going for it. Bajent shotgun formation as the crowd getting behind the Highlanders, stomping on the metal bleachers, ringing the cowbells, making as much noise as they possibly can. And Bajent going to just pooch punt it, and it will go and bounce at the 20-yard line, roll beautifully inside, and stopped by Roman Pearson right before the goal line. A beautiful punt executed by Ezra Bajent to have Huntington backed up at the half-yard line to start off the second drive of the afternoon for the Highlanders.
Got the absolutely perfect roll there. Enough time for Pearson to get down and literally stop the ball inside the 1-yard line. It would be inches away from that line there. You have to get positive yardage if you're Huntington.
So basically a 55-yard punt by the quarterback, Ezra Bajent, as Huntington and the offense steps out onto the field. 1st and 10 at the half-yard line for the Highlanders. It's Laco with Zaza Jackson to his right. He has 2 receivers near side and a flag already thrown. It's a snap infraction against Huntington as the center, Will Elk, picked up the ball and then put it back down, so the ball has to be backed up to, instead of the half-yard line, a quarter-yard line. I don't think you can go farther back without it being a safety.
It's about a 5-inch penalty instead of a 5-yard penalty there.
And now it looks like Huntington will burn a timeout. So let's take a 60-second break. You're tuned into West Virginia High School Playoff Football on Talk Radio WRNR and WRNR TV on YouTube.
You've been in an accident. A distracted driver put texting over safety. Your injuries, loss of income, and medical bills can last a long time, even a lifetime. Our job is to try and secure justice that will protect you and your family for the rest of your life. Mansion Ferretti, when you need justice.
Jambo Construction and Fencing Company, LLC, is a veteran-owned and operated company right here in the Eastern Panhandle of West Virginia that specializes in decks, fencing, and hardscaping. Find us on Facebook at Jambo Construction and Fencing to see more of the projects we've completed. For a free estimate, you can call Bo Bartley at 304-268-5452 or Jamie Gall at 304-279-5053. We are licensed and insured in the state of West Virginia, and as Martinsburg alums, we say, Go Bulldogs.
We welcome you back to Huntington High School. 3 minutes, 8 seconds to go in the first quarter. We're tied up at 7 between Martinsburg and Huntington. Huntington with the ball. It's 1st and 10 at the half-yard line for the Highlanders, or if you want to say it's the quarter-yard line after a snap infraction penalty on the Highlanders. It's lock-on shotgun formation. Jackson to his right. Low snap. Dropping back the pass is Laco, and he chucks it deep at the 35-yard lines where it will bounce. Nowhere near a receiver. Falls incomplete to bring up 2nd and 10.
It's incredibly risky to throw the ball back here at your own goal line, but I can't blame them with the Bulldogs' run defense.
Pass was either intended for Jackson or Harris, but that brings up a 2nd and 10. Huntington breaks the huddle. It's Laco with Graves in the backfield. He has 2 receivers to the near side, 2 tight ends on the far side of the line. Laco gets the snap, hands it off to Graves, and Graves stopped by Chalice, but able to get out of that back of the end zone and put the ball at the 3-yard line to bring up a 3rd down and 7.
Well, that's a tough situation here. 3rd and pretty long. So you might have to pass the ball, and again, it is risky back here towards when your quarterback's backing up into his own end zone to try to throw the ball. It's incredibly risky.
Some substitutions checking in. A few more wide receivers instead of Graves in the backfield for Huntington. So it's Locko with Zaza Jackson to his left, 2 receivers to the near side. Locko gets the snap, drops back the pass, chucks it deep for Harris, and it's incomplete, but a flag thrown as Pearson and Harris were tied up with one another, and it's a pass interference against Martinsburg. Even though the pass was nowhere close to Harris, you got to remember that there's no such thing as an uncatchable pass in high school football in West Virginia. So with the penalty, that'll make it a 1st and 10 for Huntington.
Yeah, it's a good call. And really, it's kind of a good penalty, too, because it's only 15 yards, whereas if you let him go down there and catch the ball, that's 30-yard line, 40-yard line, even further, depending on if you make the tackle or not.
So 1st and 10 from the 18-yard line of Huntington for the Highlanders. 5 wide set for Locko. Sends Harris in motion, and he'll keep it himself, go up the middle. Shalish drags him down after a 4-yard gain, just shy of the 25-yard line, stopped at the 24-yard line to bring up a 2nd and 6.
That's the dangerous thing there. This guy can run up the middle. He's got 14 rushing touchdowns this year. I think he's just a couple yards away from 1,000 on the season now.
2nd down and 5, minute 40 to go in this first quarter. It's Martinsburg 7, Huntington 7. Locko again all alone in the backfield, 5 wide. Sends Zaza Jackson in motion. Low snap. Locko has to keep it himself. Spins around and just slides on the far side. Huntington wanting a late hit as Clement kind of just fell on top of Locko when he went down, but no flags thrown. It's a loss of 5 on the play to bring up a 3rd and 10.
So again, what can they do? They've only completed 2 passes so far. They've only thrown 3 of them. Well, 4 if you count the one that ended up with a penalty. So it's been a run-heavy attack so far, but now you're in passing situations.
And it looks like Wyatt Adkins on the line had to have a substitute come in for him as something's wrong with his helmet, so he has to grab a new one from a teammate. But it is 3rd down and 9, all at the 20-yard line for Locko. Gets the snap, dropping back the pass, and it's a screen pass. Looked good at first, but Jimmy Harden was waiting right for the receiver, Marshall Christus, and he swallowed up to bring up a 4th down, and he gained about half a yard. So it'll bring up a 4th and 8, and it looks like the clock's at 24 seconds. The play clock is off, so I think Huntington's just going to let the clock hit zeros, and we'll be tied up at 7-all at the end of this first quarter, as both teams will head to their respective sidelines, and we'll take a 60-second break as it's Martinsburg 7, Huntington 7. We're back in 60 seconds on Talk Radio WRNR Martinsburg and WRNR TV on YouTube.
Ollie's VIP North Side is the best spot to catch all your favorite teams. Join us Monday for Dollar Wings and Monday Night Football, Thursdays on the patio for the Cornhole Tourney, Friday night lights with happy hour specials, or Saturdays during or after the college games for steak night. Get a ribeye or New York steak for just $26.95. Ollie's has great food and drink menus too, along with 17 TVs to watch any game of your choice from anywhere at the bar or their outdoor patio and fire pit. So stop by and see for yourself today at 36 Veronica Drive in Martinsburg. That's Ollie's VIP North Side. We'll see you for the game.
When will I be able to retire? How do I make the most of the money I have? How do I leave a lasting legacy to my loved ones? I'm Philip McCoy, financial advisor with the Mirius Group, a private wealth advisory practice of Ameriprise Financial Services Incorporated. Call us today at 304-263-4343 to help you make the most of your financial future. Our office is located at 1270 Winchester Avenue, Martinsburg, West Virginia.
Ameriprise Financial Services Incorporated, member FINRA and SIPC.
Welcome back to Huntington High School as we head to the second quarter in this state semifinal game between Martinsburg and Huntington. Colin McLaughlin alongside me is Dylan Bishop. And Dylan, quickly give us a scoring update for Shepherd's Division II playoff game against Slippery Rock.
It was tied 20-20 with Slippery Rock at the half, but Tyson Bajent ran in a touchdown to put the Rams up 27-20. There's now just under 4 minutes left in the third quarter.
There you go. It is 4th down and 8 for Huntington as they will punt it away. Back to return for Martinsburg's Jameer Hunter.
Always a problem back there.
Wilson's punt high into the sun, end over end, over the head of Hunter, who catches it over his shoulder at the 45-yard line, trying to get some space, but he's going to be tackled at the 39, and the ball comes out, scooped up by Huntington, and the Highlanders have the ball at the 14-yard line of Martinsburg, as it looked like Hunter was down, but they say he wasn't when the ball came out, and I think he might be injured as well.
Yeah, he's not getting it. I find it hard to believe that his knee wasn't down before that ball came out. There was a pretty blatant block in the back before.
From Ken Von Williams.
Yeah, before that happened there. But, I mean, as Hunter was getting brought to the ground, he loses the ball, but it sure looked to me like his knee was down. But
the officials are saying he was not down, and the fumble will stand. The penalty for the illegal block in the back has been declined, so it will be Huntington with the ball 1st and 10 from the 16-yard line of Martinsburg. And let's step aside for a 1-minute break due to the injured player on Martinsburg. You're tuned into West Virginia High School Playoff Football on Talk Radio, WRNR, and WRNR TV on YouTube.
This is Eric at Hagerstown Ford. Over the last decade, the way we buy things have evolved. Now, you get on your phone, click Want It, and it shows up at your front door. At Hagerstown Ford, it is that convenient. We've changed the car buying experience on the I-81 corridor forever. And with a return policy better than Walmart, there's absolutely no reason to buy a new or used car, truck, or SUV anywhere else. Just like Amazon, Hagerstown Ford will deliver the vehicle to you, where you are, and on your time. And if you don't want it, return it. No questions asked. Why waste your time at a car dealership playing the dumb back-and-forth games? Besides, we hate it more than you do. I assure you, no dealership from Winchester, Virginia to Washington, D.C. will beat our price. No dealership from Chambersburg, Pennsylvania to Baltimore, Maryland will beat our price. And no other dealership will allow you to return it if you don't want it. Hagerstown Ford absolutely provides the best experience at the best price. Visit HagerstownFord.com to schedule your VIP experience. Click on the vehicle you want and get your new ride delivered to you at no risk. See dealer for details.
Welcome back to Huntington High School. Jameer Hunter has stood up and made it to the far sideline with limited assistance after he fumbled the punt return. It's 1st and 10 for Huntington at Martinsburg 16. Locko with Graves to his right, sends Jackson in motion behind him. Locko going to keep it himself. Slips through the hands of Fegan before being wrapped up by King and Reed for a gain of 2 to bring up 2nd and 8 at the 14-yard line.
I will say after watching the replay of the punt return there, it seemed a lot more reasonable that they called it a fumble. Wasn't quite, looking at it in real time, it seemed like his knee might have been down. But slow motion replay, I think it was a lot closer. I think it was reasonable to call it a fumble.
Akko gets the snap, tosses it to Jackson. Jackson, shifty, gets past one guy, but Clement able to tackle him by the feet, just shy of the 10 at the 11-yard line to bring up a 3rd down and 5.
They've been moving Zaza Jackson around a lot on offense, but that's only his 4th touch of the ball so far. So they've been kind of using him as a decoy more often than not so far.
3rd and 5 for Huntington. Ball at the 11-yard line of Martinsburg. We're tied up at 7-all in this state semifinal game. Huntington breaks the huddle. It is Locko with Jackson to his right. He has trips to the near side, one receiver to the far side. Locko claps, gets the snap. It's a low one from Elk. He looks to the near side, has the out route. It's caught by Harris at the 5, and Harris is going to be pushed back, but he gets the 1st down by a yard to make it 1st and goal for Huntington.
Yeah, just a little stick route there that he was able to get open and make that play. And it's 1st and goal. This is where the Bulldogs defense needs to come up big.
Locko goes to the near sideline, gets the play call before jogging out to the huddle. Alongside him was Christus. Huntington breaks the huddle. It's 1st and goal at Martinsburg's 5-yard line. 2 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far side for Locko. He has Jackson to his right. He sends Harris in motion from left to right, hands it off to Jackson. Jackson goes up the middle, tackle just shy, and and a flag is thrown as a helmet was ripped off of Rashad Reed, who picks up his mouthpiece in frustration, as well as it looks like that penalty obviously on Huntington.
Yeah, that'll be a really big play there for the Bulldogs if they back them up.
Just waiting to hear which number it was on for the Highlanders as the officiating crew, about 3 of the 5-man or 6-man crew, talking with one another at the 5-yard line. A fourth is now going to go into the huddle to communicate with them, and one other will now come to the near sideline to talk with the head coach of Huntington, Billy Seals. There is 9 minutes, 48 seconds to go in the second quarter. Huntington knocking on the door, trying to take the lead. And it's 2 fouls on the play. Illegal hands to the face against number 73, Robbie Martin of Huntington. So that's your first one. And after the play, an unsportsmanlike against Rashad Reed, who, as I mentioned, after that play, grabbed his helmet off the ground after it was tore off him due to that legal hand to the face, picked up his mouthpiece. You could clearly see the frustration coming out of him as well after that. I don't know if any words were said, maybe or not. Don't want to speculate that. But that penalty...
I didn't see any actions that would have warranted a penalty, but I think that, that's...
That penalty is only a 10-yard. The 15-yarder makes it a 5-yard penalty in total against Huntington. So instead of the ball at the 5, it's now first and goal from the 10-yard line. Laco, pistol formation with Graves behind him. He sends Jackson in motion, hands it off to Graves. Graves on the near side is tackled by Dover at the 5. Martinsburg wanting a hold, not getting the flag. That brings up a second and goal at the 5-yard line.
Again, a lot of Huntington's success running the ball so far has been running the ball outside of the tackles, because that gets you away from Rashad Reed in the middle of the defense and puts more focus on these corners, these outside linebackers, try to make the plays.
Laco is Graves behind him to the right, 2 receivers to the far side, a tight end to the left side of the line. Play action pass, looking to the far side. It's caught in the end zone on the quick slant. Touchdown, Huntington. Wayne Harris gives the Highlanders the lead with 9:45 to go. It's now 13-7, Huntington.
There's just a good play action fake there by Laco, and then Wayne Harris got that inside leverage on the slant route against Dover. He was able to kind of box him out, make sure that the only guy that could catch that ball was him.
It's Johnny I on to attempt the PAT, and it is up and through the uprights and good to make it now 14-7 Huntington. We'll step aside for a 60-second break. You're tuned into West Virginia High School football on Talk Radio WRNR and WRNR TV on YouTube.
Hello, this is Mark Sutton of the Sutton & Janelle Law Firm. The right attorney can make all the difference in your case. That's why you should call Sutton & Janelle. We have been serving clients in West Virginia and Maryland since 1999 in the areas of family law, DUI, criminal defense, and personal injury. Sutton & Janelle works hard to obtain a favorable outcome for you at a reasonable rate with affordable payment options. Sutton & Janelle values your rights and is passionate about your success. Contact us today at suttonandjanelle.com.
With Honda, every summer adventure is the destination. Take your adventures even farther with Honda, America's most fuel-efficient full-line automaker. For a limited time, well-qualified buyers can get a 2.9% APR on a 2022 Honda Civic and a 3.9% APR on a 2022 Accord or 2023 HRV.
CMA's Honda of Winchester, 3985 Valley Pike. CMA, moving lives forward.
See dealer for financing details. Exclude Civic SI based on EPA estimate of MY20 full-line automaker fleet-wide fuel economy 2021 EPA Automotive Trends Report.
Welcome back to Huntington High School. 9:45 to go in the second quarter. Huntington now on top of Martinsburg, 14-7 after the 5-yard touchdown pass from Gavin Laco to Wayne Harris on the second and goal. On to kickoff for Huntington. It's number 25, Johnny I back to return for Martinsburg's Jameer Hunter, I think, back into the game, in Sherrod Musgrove. Nope, that's Avion Blackwood back with Musgrove, and Musgrove catches it in the end zone for a touchback, so it'll be 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line for the Bulldogs. As that one was close, it almost looked like Musgrove caught it at the 1, then went into the end zone, but they say he caught it right on the goal line for the touchback. So it's Bajent and the Bulldog offense out on the field. 3 receivers to the near side, 1 on the far side for Martinsburg. Bajent has Grantham to his right. 1st and 10 from the 20 of Martinsburg. High snap, handoff from Bajent to Grantham. Grantham cuts to the right, back to the left, tries to go up the middle, and is tackled after a 4-yard gain to bring up 2nd and 6 at the 24.
This is a big drive for the Bulldogs offense, I think. I think last week, even though part of it was Bridgeport shortened the game with possessions, I think a better offense could have given Bulldogs a lot of trouble last week.
Rolling out to his right, Bajent looks to the far side now. It's a screen pass caught by Mott, and Mott immediately met by Jackson. No gain on the play will bring up a 3rd and 6.
They got to get something going. I mean, they're not. They've done a lot of these quick passes down the field. That's only Ezra Bajent's 3rd pass attempt of the game. They need to start trying to give him some time down the field. Let his receivers work.
3rd down, trips to the near side, 1 receiver to the far side. Bajent sends Pearson in motion to the far side. He pump fake, steps up in the pocket, looks for a wide open man in the middle of the field. It's caught by Grantham, and Grantham will be tackled at the 49-yard line. 1st down, Martinsburg.
Exactly what I was talking about. On cue, they get a play down the field, vertical passing, where Bajent gets the time to throw.
It was a 25-yard reception for Grantham, who now has to get some help fixing his uniform. He does so. Now goes to the left side of Bajent in shotgun formation. 1st and 10 on Martinsburg's 49-yard line. 3 receivers to the far side, 1 to the near. Snap high over the head of Bajent, and Bajent just has to fall on top of it at the 31-yard line. So that's a 14-yard loss to bring up 2nd down and 24.
And we saw some issues with that last week. A couple of snaps that were a little errant. That one, Bajent did get his hands on it. It just went right through him. But the quarterback's not expecting the ball to be snapped up by his head. You as a center, you got to do a better job of getting that ball right into the chest of your quarterback.
That was Will Bass in at center. We'll have to see if later on we see Peyton Kaufman go back at center if that continues. But it's Bass still in. Bajent drops back to pass, looking to the far side. And it's caught by Pearson at the 40, breaks off a tackler on the far sideline, wraps up, and just shy of the 44 at the 43-yard line to bring up a 3rd down and, I believe, 15 yards.
I mean, this is the kind of plays that Martinsburg has been able to make all year, these 3rd and longs, with the great playmakers they have on the outside. But, as we saw, Jameer Hunter got hurt earlier in this game, and he's not back out there yet. So that's one of the guys that's been making a lot of plays for them.
3rd and 16, 6:10 to go in the second. It's Huntington 14, Martinsburg 7. Bajent gets the snap, drops back, looking to pass, steps up in the pocket. Caught at the 40-yard line by Pearson. On the far side he goes, slides down, has the 1st down for Martinsburg at the 38-yard line.
And to get great protection by the offensive line, giving Ezra enough time. Sit back there, let his guys come open. Roman Pearson coming across the field, 15 yards down there. And it's big time stepping up on this drive for Pearson.
1st and 10 at the 38 of Huntington. Bajent sends Pearson in motion. Play action pass on the jet sweep. Caught on the near side by Dover from Bajent. It's a screen pass that immediately, again, is wrapped up and stuffed. It's Dover getting it to the 35-yard line to bring up a 2nd and 7.
Again, I think that's really what the Bulldogs needed for this drive to get things going on offense, is get Bajent in a rhythm. He came into this only having 1 completion for -1 yards, and now 4 in a row on this drive.
Trips to the far side, 1 receiver to the near side. Bajent hands it off to Grantham. Grantham on the right side of the line, just shy of the 1st down marker by about 3 yards, so that brings up a 3rd and 3, maybe a 3rd and 4, as they say was stopped at the 33-yard line.
See a 3rd and short here, about 32-yard line. I'd say you're in 4-down territory here, so I wouldn't be surprised if I handed it off to Grantham again.
Jackson and Garrett in on the tackle. Play action pass from Bajent to the far side, caught by Pearson, and Pearson stopped by Jackson. And Pearson might be hurt as he was hit hard on that leg. He's up limping, but he will stay in the game. No yards gained on the play. That'll bring up a 4th down for Martinsburg. Zaza Jackson came in like a bat out of hell on that stop.
Yeah, that was a really good play there. He had a little bit of space after he caught that bubble screen, but Zaza Jackson was able to make the play.
Martinsburg's going for it on 4th down. 4th and 3, 4 minutes to go in the second. Bajent, shotgun formation as Grantham to his right, 2 receivers to each side. 5 seconds to go on the play clock. Bajent barks out the call. 3 seconds to go, 2 seconds to go, and Martinsburg will take a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining. And let's keep it here and give you our second quarter sponsors. Your second quarter is brought to you by Hagerstown Ford, revolutionizing the car buying experience. Go to HagerstownFord.com. We're also presented on WRNR TV and Talk Radio WRNR by Smallwood and Small Insurance in Martinsburg, your total insurance solution at 121 Administrative Drive in Martinsburg. Phone 304-263-3361. 3 minutes, 55 seconds to go in the second quarter. It is Huntington 14, Martinsburg 7. As Martinsburg down a receiver as Jameer Hunter went out with an injury earlier due to, not really sure what it was, but it was during a punt that he, 1 fumbled and 2 had to be taken out after the play was over with an injury.
It's hard to tell exactly what body part was injured on the play, but we haven't seen him since. But they've gone this entire drive without him so far.
As it's 4th down and 3, ball at the 31-yard line for Martinsburg. And the offense, after the timeout, comes back out onto the field for the Bulldogs to go for it.
I'd keep the ball in the hands of your best player on offense right here, Ezra Bajent.
Bajent in shotgun formation. Grantham to his right, 3 receivers near side, 1 to the far side. He sends Pearson in motion from right to left, drops back the pass. It's a free play as there's a flag. He has Grantham on the near side. He made the catch. It's about half a yard shy of the 1st down, but there's a flag on that far side. We wait to see who it's against. If it's against Huntington, it's a 1st down for Martinsburg. If it's against Martinsburg,
I'm not confident it was
a
free
play. Backs up
the
Bulldogs.
I'm not confident that was a free play.
Grantham was half a yard shy of the 1st down marker at the 29-yard line. He had to get to the 28-yard line. It's an illegal shift penalty against Martinsburg again. The penalty's declined. Turnover on downs. Huntington will get the ball. 1st and 10 for the Highlanders at the 29-yard line, up 14-7 over Martinsburg.
This is just a really athletic Huntington defense that's been able to keep up with the Martinsburg athletes so far, especially Zaza Jackson. We've seen him on offense, but on defense as well, he's making a lot of plays. Again, we mentioned in pregame he's got 5 interceptions on the year. Took one of them back for a touchdown. And you got to do something. You got to change something to get things going on offense.
Locko in shotgun formation. Gets the snap from Elk. Halfback toss to the right side to Zaza Jackson, and Jackson will be wrapped up at the line of scrimmage on the far side of the field. Getting some help from Clement as well as Fegan in on the tackle, I believe, was Coy and Kai Fegan. Gain of, they say, 1. So he got to the 29.5, make it 30-yard line for 2nd and 9.
Yeah, again, they're still seeing a lot of running plays out to the outside for Huntington. They are, rightfully so, scared of the middle of this Bulldogs defense.
2nd and 9, the 29.5. Locko, play action pass, feels the pressure from Herring, slips past Herring, chucks it deep, and it's caught at the 45-yard line. In for the catch is Avante Crawford, but hold everything. There's 2 flags on the field back at the line of scrimmage. Martinsburg's pointing that it's being brought back.
Yeah, when you get a quarterback scrambling out of the pocket,
And it is being brought back. It's a penalty against Huntington.
I was going to say a lot of times you'll get a holding penalty when a quarterback's scrambling out, but a lot of times also you'll get an ineligible man downfield, and that's exactly what that penalty was right there.
So it'll be a replay of second down. The ball brought back from the 29-yard line to the 25-yard line. Bring up a 2nd and 14 with 2:50 to go in the second quarter. It's Huntington 14, Martinsburg 7. Huntington breaks the huddle. It's Laco with Zaza Jackson to his left. He has 2 receivers to the far side of the field, 1 to the near side of the field. Gavin Laco gets the snap. Play action pass, dropping back the pass, chucking it again deep, intended for Crawford, and it's off his hands this time. Incomplete as he tried to dive for it again at the 45-yard line, but just in and out of his hands to bring up a 3rd and 14. He had Musgrove by his step, but it was just overthrown from Laco.
So the underrated aspect of this Jameer Hunter injury isn't just the special teams and the offensive production. It's the fact that Jameer Hunter leads this team in interceptions with 7 so far this year. He's out, Sherrod Musgrove is in, and Huntington is trying to attack Musgrove deep down the field on these last 2 plays.
Huntington breaks the huddle. 10 seconds to go on the play clock, which is winding down on the game clock. It's stopped at 2:26. Laco able to get the snap off in time, drops back the pass, looking deep on the far side, and it's in and out of the hands of Zaza Jackson at the last second, broken up by Braden Herring, and that'll bring up a 4th and 14.
Man.
Jackson had it, was coming down, but Herring was able to just punch it out of his hands to fall incomplete.
Yeah, Herring got turned around. Jackson made the adjustment to really get himself open as that ball came at him through the air, but then the ball just came out of his hands. It looked like he had it for half a second.
Also during the play, a holding penalty against Huntington, which has been declined to make it that 4th down, so the punt unit will come out for the Highlanders. The punt return unit will come out for Martinsburg. It's Musgrove back to return. Back deep the punt is Tavion Wilson. 2:19 to go in the second quarter. It's Huntington 14, Martinsburg 7. Wilson lined up at the 11-yard line for the punt. Low snap. He's able to get it. A whistle blows to stop the punt, which was short. So Huntington might be getting some help as that ball was stopped at the 49-yard line, but it's an encroachment penalty against Martinsburg. So that'll bring the punt up 5 yards. It's still 4th down and 9 instead of 14. So the punt unit will stay out, and Wilson, after a very, very short punt, will have a second chance. This time punt it deep.
So now it's Musgrove back to return the punt instead of Hunter, as he's still out of the game. Musgrove's averaging 30 yards per return on kickoffs, 15 per punt.
Wilson, a low line drive punt, caught by Musgrove at the 32-yard line. Runs the near field, slips through a tackle at the 45-yard lines where he'll be stopped and pushed back. So it'll be a 1st and 10 for Martinsburg, down by a touchdown with 2:05 to go in the second quarter.
So it's a 2-minute drill here, classic 2-minute drill, 2:05 left. So Bajan, again, this is a situation where you're going to have to pass the ball a little more, and I do think that that's what this offense needs right now.
Both teams still have 2 timeouts remaining. It's 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line of Martinsburg for Martinsburg. Bagent in shotgun formation. Grantham to his left. He has 3 receivers to the far side. 1 to the near side is Mott. Bagent gets the snap, hands it off to Grantham, and Grantham immediately met by the linebacker, Wayne Harris, who came in untouched on the blitz, a loss of 1 to bring up 2nd and 11.
This has just been really stout run defense up front for the Highlanders. You got number 50 there in the middle, Caillou Jackson.
Yep, he also helped Harris on that tackle.
5'10", 280 pounds right in the middle there. Tough matchup.
Bagent gets the snap, drops back, passes it to the far side. It's a wide receiver screen caught by Dover, and Dover's going to be tackled. And to make the tackle was Cam Veazey. It's a gain of 5 to bring up a 3rd down and 6 at the 49-yard line for Martinsburg. Minute 15 to go in the second quarter. Down a touchdown. Huntington leads 14-7.
So you don't have a whole lot of time to waste here. Or just about a minute left in the half now.
Still 2 timeouts. Haven't used one. The clock now under a minute left in this second quarter. Martinsburg still hasn't snapped the ball. Bajent gets the snap finally from Bass, dropping back the pass. It's a wheel route in the flat, caught by Grantham, and Grantham only gains 2 yards at the 49-yard line of Huntington, is where he'll be stopped to bring up a 4th down.
So we're in an interesting situation here. Clock's rolling under 40 seconds. Do you go for it here? I think you can't afford to.
There's 20 seconds on the play clock, 25 on the game clock, so about a 5-6 second difference between the two. 4th down and 3 for Martinsburg, who is going for it. Bajent dropping back to pass, feels the pressure. It's a screen pass caught by Grantham. Grantham on the far side has blockers in front of him, and he's out to the 30-yard line of Huntington before he's wrapped up, and Martinsburg will use a timeout with 8 seconds to go before the quarter ends. It is Huntington 14, Martinsburg 7, as Martinsburg now has 1 timeout left. Huntington has 2 left. Still a very long field goal for Terwilliger.
That was a really good play call on that 4th down there. They haven't run a screen pass out of the backfield with the running back all game long, so it's a really good spot to pull it out when they really haven't seen it coming.
Once this quarter ends, we'll send it down to Spencer Dupuis, who will have the halftime interview with the head coach of Martinsburg, Britt Sherman, before we go to our halftime show. It is 1st and 10 for Martinsburg on Huntington's 30-yard line when we come back from this timeout. 8 seconds left in the second quarter. It's Huntington 14, Martinsburg 7 in this Class AAA state semifinal game. Winner of this heads to Wheeling Island next week for the state championship.
You have to forgive me if my memory doesn't serve right, but I don't believe in either of the 2 losses this year for Martinsburg that they were trailing at halftime. I think this would be the first time this year.
Highland Springs, I think they were.
No, you might have been right there.
Bajent all alone in the backfield. Chucks it deep on the far side to Mott, and he overthrows him, incomplete. Break up the pass with Jonathan Jackson. 2 seconds left, 2nd and 10.
I mean, this would be a 47-yard field goal just about, so this would be tough to try to bring out your kicker, try to put 3 points on the board. I think just going for the end zone here is about all you can do.
Has 4 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far side's Mott. He's got Grantham, Pearson, Dover, and Clement to the near side. Throws it to the middle of the field, and it intercepted by Huntington at the 5, and it's picked off by Cam Veazey. And that'll be the end of the first half as we wait for Spencer Dupuis to get Coach Britt Sherman on the far side, and some jawing back and forth between the two teams who have to wait to get to the locker rooms, which Huntington goes to the far side locker rooms, even though they're on the near sideline. Martinsburg comes to the near side from the far side, and it looks like Spencer Dupuis does have Britt Sherman, so let's send it down to him now.
Thanks, Colin. Here with Coach Sherman, a 1-score game. What are you telling your team going into half?
Well, we just got to fight. I mean, it's a semifinal game. We knew it would be a fight, and we just got to make adjustments, and we got to do a better job running the football and stopping.
All right, Coach, best of luck in the second half.
Thank you.
Back up to you, Colin.
All right, thank you, Spencer, as well as Coach Sherman. At the half, it is Huntington up on Martinsburg by a score of 14-7. We'll take a 2-minute break and then be back for the halftime show. You're tuned into West Virginia High School Playoff Football on Talk Radio WRNR and WRNR TV on YouTube.
Brown Funeral Home is proud to be one of the hundreds of veterans and family memorial care providers across America participating in the 13th annual Christmas Stockings for Soldiers and Veterans Initiative. From now through December 1st, please stop into the funeral home and pick up a free Christmas stocking. You may stop by the funeral home Monday through Friday between the hours of 9 a.m. and 7 p.m. to pick up your stocking to take home, decorate, and stuff with Christmas cheer. You will receive a list of recommended items along with the free stocking. Brown Funeral Home will deliver the stocking at their expense to troops abroad and veterans here at home in time for Christmas. Brown Funeral Home is located at 327 West King Street in Martinsburg.
If you're in an accident, the first thing that you have to do is call 911. You have to get medical care immediately.
The next thing you need to do is call us. When you hire us at the Skinner Law Firm, what we do is we are going to investigate your case and we're going to lay out the options that you have.
all at no cost to you. We will use all of our resources and all of our experience to get you what you deserve.
The Skinner Law Firm, SkinnerFirm.com.
Minute. Can't lose this. Martinsburg will have Sherman's head.
What came first, the chicken or the egg? No matter what you think, you can have it either way. Rock's new bagel croissant and chicken waffle breakfast sandwiches are made fresh every morning. Rock's local market.
Rise and shine. You're gonna be late for work. Good morning, sleepyhead. Have a good one.
Rock's new bagel croissant and chicken waffle breakfast sandwiches are made fresh every morning. Rock's local market.
Grow up. Welcome back to Huntington High School as we are at the half between Martinsburg and Huntington. Huntington is up 14-7 as we welcome you into the halftime show brought to you by the Mansion Freddie Law Firm in Martinsburg, where it's about seeking justice for you. Go to wvjusticelawyers.com. Colin McLaughlin here for Talk Radio WRNR and WRNR TV on YouTube. Alongside me is Dylan Bishop. Our crew today, it's Donna Schaffner as our executive producer. Our sideline reporter and cameraman is Spencer Dupuis. Our main cameraman is Braden Schaffner, and back at the studio, who you will hear from shortly, is Nick Verzolini as Martinsburg trying to get back to the state championship game for the 14th time in program history and extend that playoff win streak to 24 in a row, but right now down by a touchdown against Huntington on the road. And Dylan, let's get our first half stats brought to you by Dynamark Atlantic Security, reminding you, don't be a statistic. Protect your family, home, business with the local alarm professionals at Dynamark Atlantic Security. Call Ben Copenhaver today at 304-671-2158.
We'll start with the one big positive of the first half, which was that 60-yard touchdown. Murphy Clement 1 for 1 with 60 yards passing and that touchdown, going to Buzz Dover, who has 4 catches for 68 yards and 1 score for himself. Roman Pearson, 3 catches, 30 yards. Zion Grantham, 3 catches for 46 yards. Grantham, only 6 carries for a total of 14 yards on the ground, as Coach Sherman said they need to run the ball better in the second half. And then Ezra Bajent, so far 10 of 13, but only for 80 yards, and he threw that interception right before half, which was really just a Hail Mary. And then on the Huntington side of things, Gavin Locko is 5 for 8 with 43 yards and a passing touchdown to Wayne Harris, who has 3 catches for 21 yards to go with that score. Graves has 6 carries for 20 yards and a score for Huntington. Zaza Jackson, 4 carries for 17 yards. Gavin Locko's 5 carries have only gone for a total of 3 yards so far.
Alrighty, those are your first half stats as we have 15 minutes left in halftime. So this is the Mansion Freddie Law Firm halftime show. It's Huntington 14, Martinsburg 7. We'll take a 2-minute commercial break now, and on the other side of that break, you'll hear from Nick Verzolini, who will have an update on the Shepherd Rams game against Slippery Rock, some other scores around the college football world, as well as the other state semifinal games in Class AAA, AA, and Single A 2. You're tuned into West Virginia High School playoff football on Talk Radio WRNR and WRNR TV on YouTube.
With 4 new car dealerships and 4 used car dealerships in 3 states, Parsons is the largest used car and fastest growing new car dealer in the tri-state area. Take Parsons Ford with huge savings on hundreds of new Fords, financing from 0%. Parsons' goal of financing for all. And Parsons' famous above-market trade-in allowances that help make Parsons #1 for used cars, too. See why so many won't buy anywhere but Parsons Ford in Martinsburg. We became #1 by making you #1 first. Parsons.
WVU Medicine is pleased to introduce 6 new providers who've joined our medical staffs at Berkeley Medical Center, Jefferson Medical Center, and University Healthcare Physicians. Dr. Sandeep Kashyap, Thoracic Surgery. Nurse Practitioner Dana Price, Interventional Radiology. Dr. Jessica Rude, Family Medicine. Dr. Michael Seam, Orthopedics. Dr. Emran Sheikh, Orthopedics Hand and Wrist. And Dr. Alexander Shin, Emergency Medicine. WVU Medicine, growing to meet the needs of our community.
Looking for some nightlife? Then look no further. Laddie's Bar and Grill has a full bar and kitchen, pool table, and entertainment with great food at affordable prices. You can dine in or carry out by calling us at 304-263-5233. Laddie's is open Monday through Saturdays from 8 a.m. to 3 a.m. and Sundays from 10 a.m. to 3 a.m. We serve breakfast all day long, and our lunch and dinner specials are posted every day on our Facebook page. So stop on in to Laddie's Bar and Grill, located at 107 Lutz Avenue in Martinsburg.
Has she been naughty? And has she been nice? That's a dilemma, my friend. What do? Santa actually checks his list twice to find out who's naughty and nice. The point we may have been missing is that naughty and nice is a good thing. I'm Lori from Bechtel Jewelers. If she's been naughty and nice, get in here. Let her know that her behavior has not gone unnoticed, not by Santa and not by you. Bechtel Jewelers, Route 11 South, Inwood. Something nice for the woman who is that and so much more.
We welcome you into the Extra Point Scoreboard Show. I'm Nick Verzolini. Some scores here at the half. We'll start with the game you're currently tuned into and the rest of the high school slate for this Saturday semifinal day as Martinsburg currently trails Huntington. The Highlanders lead the Bulldogs 14-7 at the half. And Park South leading against Hurricane now 24-13. In AA, Independence defeated North Marion last night 58-19. No score reported between Herbert Hoover and Frankfurt yet, so that one might be later on today. But James Monroe beat Wheeling Central 27-7 in Class A, and then also in Class A, Williamstown wins over Doddridge County 53-21. In college football, some scores as the Mountaineers are currently in action, and West Virginia is leading Oklahoma State 21-13 in the third quarter. Rest of the Big 12 action last night, Texas beat Baylor 38-27. In the top 25, Michigan leads Ohio State 24-20. Clemson leads South Carolina 30-21. But the one that we all care about here in the Eastern Panhandle is in Division II, and Shepherd currently holds a 30-27 lead in the fourth quarter with about 2:19 left. The Rams are looking to advance to the regional championship. They're on the doorstep of adding some points. They're at the Slippery Rock 20-yard line currently, and a touchdown here probably puts it away with only 2:19 remaining. The Rock has 2 timeouts remaining, and the Rams have 3 timeouts. So we'll see how that one finishes, but currently Shepherd holding on to a 3-point lead. The Rock needs a stop. The Rams can get a first down and secure the win. But good game there. Back to the top 25. Not a whole lot going on besides those games that I already gave you the scores for, but USC Notre Dame tonight should be a fun one at 7:30. And Marshall is in action today as well. The Herd are at home in that contest and are taking on Georgia State today in the Sun Belt Conference. And Marshall currently trails Georgia State 17-14 in the fourth quarter of 11 minutes to go. Old Dominion and South Alabama are tied at 20. JMU winning 40-7. The Maryland Terrapins are beating Rutgers. Last I saw it was 30-0 for those of you that may be interested. And that one's in the fourth quarter as well. So the Terps are going to get their 7th win of the season. But again, your scores on the high school side: Huntington leading Martinsburg here at the half 14-7. Park South in the other AAA semifinal leads 24-13. We'll take a 2-minute break. On the other side of that break, we'll send it back to Colin and Dylan, who are in Huntington for the second half between the Highlanders and the Martinsburg Bulldogs. This is West Virginia High School football on Talk Radio WRNR and WRNR TV on YouTube.
Looking to buy a home in the Eastern Panhandle? Thinking about making that big move but don't know where to start? Then call Chris Ross and the Milestone Real Estate Group. Chris is a Martinsburg High School graduate and knows the local market, and he's proven it for the past 15 years at Milestone Real Estate Group. Looking to sell or buy a home? Phone 304-579-7349. That's 304-579-7349. Or go to callchrisross.com. Making milestones is our business.
Radon is the second leading cause of lung cancer deaths in the United States each year. But do you know the radon levels in your home? Home is a place to live, love, and laugh, not a place to breathe air containing radon. The Berkeley and Morgan County Health Departments are distributing free confidential radon test kits, and you can get yours at the Berkeley County Health Department office in Martinsburg and the Morgan County Health Department office in Berkeley Springs. Protect your home and family. Get your free radon test kit today.
You've been in an accident. A distracted driver put texting over safety. Your injuries, loss of income, and medical bills can last a long time, even a lifetime. Our job is to try and secure justice that will protect you and your family for the rest of your life. Mansion Ferretti, when you need justice.
Let's go! Drink some beers! Mountaineer Grill and Pub!
Conveniently located right off 81 at 214 Mid-Atlantic Parkway, Mountaineer Grill and Pub offers many daily specials, including happy hour 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. with $2 domestic bottles and $2.50 domestic drafts. Monday night is trivia night, Thursday night is wing night, and Wednesday and Sunday night is steak night.
Let's go! Drink some beers! Mountaineer Grill and Pub!
Welcome back to Huntington High School. Colin McLaughlin alongside me is Dylan Bishop. Our crew is Donna Schaffner as well as Spencer Dupuy and Braden Schaffner back at the studio. Who you just heard from was Nick Verzolini. About 6:40 to go in this halftime. It is Huntington 14, Martinsburg 7, as it's been a back-and-forth game. Jameer Hunter went out with an injury for Martinsburg. We'll have to see if when the team comes back, if he's healthy again and able to go for the second half. But Martinsburg right now down by a touchdown, Dylan, as it's a rematch of last year's state championship game between these two schools, and right now Huntington's the one on top.
Yeah, it was a tough half because Huntington played really well up front with their defensive line, so it was tough for Martinsburg to get much going on the ground. Again, Zion Grantham only 6 carries for 14 yards. Bajent has done a pretty good job throwing the ball so far. He got himself into a rhythm, threw that interception right before the half, but it was essentially a Hail Mary. So, you kind of one that you see in the stat book, but you don't really, consider a bad throw or anything like that when you look into it deeper. And, Coach Sherman said before the half they need to run the ball better and stop the run better, which I would agree with, even though the stat sheet doesn't say a whole lot. There's only 40 total rushing yards for Huntington so far, but there's been a lot of motion on the side of the Highlanders that have kind of been able to get things going, running the ball to the outside so far, staying away from Rashad Reed in the middle of the defense. But, 14 points in one half, that's not bad to give up. Your offense has only been able to get 7 points on the board. There was that fumble by Jameer Hunter when he got hurt on that punt return that set up the Highlanders in the red zone after they returned the ball to about the 15-yard line. A couple penalties here and there. It's stuff that you can clean up, and you can do a lot better at in the second half, and you can come back from here. Again, it's only a one-possession game, so it's nothing insurmountable or anything like that. So, this is a very winnable game still. You clean a few things up, and you make a couple adjustments here or there, and the second half can go a lot differently.
by the way, for those on Talk Radio WRNR that were maybe wanting to tune in to West Virginia University football action against Oklahoma State. WVU up at the end of the third quarter, 21-19 now, as that's usually what we have on Saturdays. But with Martinsburg today, we have the Bulldogs State semifinal game, as with a win today, they'd head back to Wheeling Island. In a quick scoring update on the Shepherd side of things, the Rams have scored, so they now lead by 10, 37-27, with a minute 14 left in the fourth quarter. So if the Rams win, they're back in the NCAA Division II Super Region 1 Regional Championship next week against the winner of Assumption as well. Ashland, excuse me. Thank you, Dylan. Ashland and IUP.
Last scoring update had there was 12-7 IUP in the third quarter, which is, as we get another update here, that is where it currently stands.
So right now, if things hold, it would be Shepherd next week heading back to IUP for a rematch of the Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference Championship, in which Shepherd lost 24-21.
But if Ashland were to come back and win that game, Shepherd would host Ashland with a home game for the regional championship.
That is correct. So let's now step aside, take another 2-minute break on the Mansion Freddie Law Firm halftime show, and then we'll be back, and hopefully in time for the second half kickoff between Huntington and Martinsburg. It's Huntington 14, Martinsburg 7. You're tuned into West Virginia High School playoff football on Talk Radio WRNR and WRNR TV on YouTube.
When it comes to breast cancer, early detection is the key. During October, WVU Medicine, Berkeley Medical Center, and Jefferson Medical Center will offer 3D mammogram screening clinics to women 40 and older on Saturdays at our women's imaging centers in Ranson and Spring Mills for just $60. This discounted fee helps patients who haven't met their deductible, whose insurance doesn't include one with an annual exam, or for those with no insurance. Schedule your discounted 3D mammogram today. Call WVU Medicine at 1-844-802-2734, option 2.
For you guys who wait till the last minute to buy her gift, check out our winning play that scores big in your home on Christmas morning. Ready? Hike into your car, rush to our store, but don't speed. Then we huddle over the cases, pick the perfect gift, wrap it, and hand it off to you. You rush out with the winning gift held tight, and on Christmas morning, you hand it off to her. She opens it, and baby, it's a touchdown. She loves it. Ready for the winning play? Come see us at Bechtel Jewelers, Route 11 South, Inwood.
Trisha Hornby here. Larry DeMarco, broker of Modern Realty Results, believes he has some of the best real estate agents in the Eastern Panhandle. Agents at Modern Realty Results have years of experience and knowledge of the local real estate market. Agents within the office work as a team to provide quality customer service. We strive to always ensure client satisfaction through handling every transaction with honesty and integrity, all while offering competitive rates. Modern Realty Results is veteran-owned and managed. Please call us at 262-4222, modernrealtyresults.com.
Let's go! Drink some beers! Mountaineer Grill and Pub!
Conveniently located right off 81 at 214 Mid-Atlantic Parkway, Mountaineer Grill and Pub offers many daily specials, including happy hour 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. with $2 domestic bottles and $2.50 domestic drafts. Monday night is trivia night, Thursday night is wing night, and Wednesday and Sunday night is steak night.
Let's go! Drink some beers! Mountaineer Grill and Pub!
Welcome back to Huntington High School as both teams retake the field as we get ready for the second half. It's Huntington 14, Martinsburg 7 as both teams finish. Coming out of the locker room to our left, it will be Huntington to receive the second half kick when we do come back, as 3 minutes will be added back onto the clock to allow both sides to stretch, as Huntington won the toss, elected to defer for the second half. Up a touchdown over Martinsburg. This is Colin McLaughlin for Talk Radio WRNR and WRNR TV on YouTube. Alongside me is Dylan Bishop. We got Donna Schaffner, our executive producer. Our main cameraman is Braden Schaffner. Sideline camera is Spencer Dupuis. And Nick Verzolini is back at the studio. And is there a final score yet from Shepherdstown, Dylan? As last we checked, it was Shepherd up on Slippery Rock, 37-27, with a minute to go in the fourth.
We should be getting that up here in just a second because we're really getting down towards the end of that game. Again, there was only a minute 14 left here. Looks like it's still 37-27. We're under 40 seconds left in the game, 34 seconds to be exact. But the Rams have the ball back. They're in victory formation, so it looks like they're moving on to the regional championship.
So there you go. That means next week we will have Shepherd University Ram football for you on TV 10 and WRNR TV on YouTube. We'll just have to see if it's in Shepherdstown or if it's in IUP, and then we'll have a kickoff time and everything for you later on this weekend as both team captains for the respective teams, Huntington and Martinsburg, meet at the 50-yard line, shake hands, and now we'll jog back to their respective sidelines, and we get ready for the second half kickoff, which is brought to you by Mountaineer Grill and Pub, located at 214 Mid-Atlantic Parkway in Martinsburg. So it will be Brett Terwilliger on to kickoff for Martinsburg when they take the field. It's Brent, who we've seen each kickoff so far from him. A short end-over-end kick during this game, so we'll see if for the second half opening kick, if he decides to onside kick or kick it deep to Huntington.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a big drive here for the Martinsburg defense. Obviously, if anyone can come back from a possession lead, if they were to give one up, it would be Martinsburg with all the athletes that they have on the offensive side of the ball. But so far, Huntington, got to give credit where credit is due, has done a really good job of slowing down the Bulldogs offense so far. Again, Ezra Bajan's completed 10 passes. It's only gone for 80 yards. They've only given up 14 yards rushing to Zion Grantham as well. So we'll see what sort of adjustments that Coach Sherman has at halftime, what he told his team in the locker room to be able to get things going. Again, those holes on the offensive line have not been able to open up so far the way that they usually do. For Grantham to be able to break off his 10-yard runs like he does sometimes, he got himself that screen pass right before the half that was able to set things up to where they had a chance to throw it to the end zone and tie things up before they went into the locker room. But you get things like that going, get a little. I want to see maybe Murphy Clement get a few more touches in this half. He had that 60-yard touchdown on that fake end around. Hasn't rushed the ball at all today, hasn't had a catch. So we'll see after, last year his brother had 8 touchdowns against Huntington in the state championship. See if in the second half, Murphy Clement, the younger Clement brother, can get things going here in the second half.
Just received word from the far sideline from Spencer Dupuis. Jameer Hunter is out for this second half as Terwilliger steps forward to, I guess, just re-line up where he wants his steps to be for this kickoff. Back to return is Zaza Jackson all by himself, lined up at the 15-yard line. It's an onside kick to the far side. It bounces, and it's recovered by Martinsburg off the hands of a Highlander. Cam Shallis, I believe it was, in on the recovery. Was it Jimmy Harden? No, it was Harden. Martinsburg gets the ball, 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. And hold on because there is an injured Huntington Highlander on that far side of the field, and I believe it was the player that got hit after he tried to recover that onside kick. But he's back up onto his feet, looks to be okay, as that was Goodrich, the injured Highlander, for a brief second. But Martinsburg comes out, starts the second half with a successful onside kick. And it's 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs at the 46-yard line of Huntington.
That is massive. Now you don't have to worry about that potential of going down 2 possessions there before you can get the ball back. Now you can go out here and try to get this game tied up or even take the lead if you choose to go for 2.
The momentum hopefully shifting over in Martinsburg's favor. 1st and 10. Trips to the near side for Bajent. Gets the snap, hands it off to Grantham. Grantham wrapped up in the backfield for a loss of 1 as it's Caillou Jackson grabbing his foot of Grantham and swinging him down to the ground to bring up 2nd and 11.
I was going to say before that kickoff that, again, Jameer Hunter being out for this game is absolutely huge. He's your guy that breaks the top off the defense on offense, and then he's your leading interceptor. He's your guy that can make plays in the special teams as well. But E.J. Hendricks, the left tackle, being out for the season for the Bulldogs is also
Martinsburg
huge.
switching things up. Murphy Clement now goes to quarterback. He has Grantham to his left, the receivers near your side, one to the far. High snap. Clement going to keep it himself, runs to the left side of the field, tries to stiff arm Jonathan Jackson, will pick up 2 yards back to the original line of scrimmage to bring up a 3rd down and 10.
So again, there's a little bit of different stuff than we saw in the first half. Murphy Clement back under center, taking the ball. That's really his first touch of the game since that end around where he threw that touchdown.
And now Bajent will come back out at quarterback. It's Mott, the lone receiver on the far side. The 3 receivers to the near side of the field. It's Pearson, Clement, and Dover. It is Bajent in shotgun formation with Grantham to his left. Bajent gets the snap, drops back to pass, steps up, fires it in the middle, in and out of the hands of Pearson, and almost deflected into the hands of a Huntington defender, but it goes incomplete to bring up 4th down as it was Crawford almost with the pick.
Whew. Risky throw there, but I'm not sure that there was much else open. Roman Pearson's been very reliable in this game so far, but that was a tight window. Just couldn't quite get it there. It did go through his hands, but it was a tough catch as well.
Martinsburg's going for it on 4th and 10. Bajent. Underhand tosses it up, free ball, and it's caught in and out of the hands of the receiver. And incomplete, or are they saying that Pearson was down before he lost the ball? Bajent just underhand tossed it to make it look like a punt, and Pearson just came running forward out of a sea of black uniforms of Huntington, and it's a 12-yard gain, 1st down Martinsburg.
Yeah, they're going no huddle here. I want to talk about that play after we get this next one.
Bajent gets the snap, hands it off to Grantham. Grantham up the middle, breaks through 1 tackle, gets some help, being pushed forward for a gain of 4 to bring up a 2nd down and 6.
So it looked like you're exactly right there, Colin. It was kind of a fake pooch punt where Ezra just tosses the ball underhand, and it completely confused the Huntington defense. They didn't know what to do, and Pearson was just able to catch that ball. I think he got 2 steps in, stumbled, hit the ground, then lost the ball. So it's a completed catch and then falls to the ground. Ground causes the fumble.
3 receivers to the far side, 1 to the near side. Bajent pump fakes, scrambles to his right, looking downfield for Mott, and Mott unable to make the catch, bobbling it against Zaza Jackson. It falls incomplete to bring up a 3rd down.
That was a tough throw to try to make there. If he waited a second and looked across the field, he might have had another receiver open. But still, I mean, 3rd down here, you're still in probably 4 down territory with where the ball is. It'd be a really long field goal. So you got 2 plays to get these 6 or so yards.
Trips to the far side, 1 receiver to the near side. Bajent throws underneath for Grantham. Grantham trying to find space, but unable to do so. He stopped for a loss of 1 on the far side. That'll bring up another 4th down for Martinsburg. A loss of 1 makes it a 4th down and 4 with 9:18 to go in the 3rd. It's Huntington 14, Martinsburg 7.
So I think this is another situation. I wouldn't be shocked if this ends up a pooch punt, but I think when you're down by 7 here, you got about 7-8 yards to get this 1st down. I think you go for it. You can only get about 13 yards of a net on a touchback.
4th down, Bajent gets the snap, dropping back to pass, steps up in the pocket as Dover in the middle of the field. It's caught at the 15, and he's tackled just shy of the 10 at the 13-yard line. 1st down, Martinsburg.
It looked like a dagger concept there where you have your slot receiver go straight up the field and kind of clear things out for your guy outside to run about a 15-yard in route there, and it worked to perfection. Middle of the field was open for Buzz Dover, got himself a few extra yards, 20 yards down into the red zone.
1st and 10 at the 12 for the Bulldogs. Bajent sends Clement in motion. He hands it off to Clement. Clement from left to right goes to the far side and walks his way into the end zone. Touchdown, Martinsburg. 9:18 to go. It's now a 1-point game. Huntington 14, Martinsburg 13 on the 12-yard touchdown for Murphy Clement.
Well, this is what I wanted to see coming out and onto this drive. A few more touches for Murphy Clement. He's one of the best athletes on the field, anytime he's on any field. And that's a great play right there. Go to that jet sweep, let him use his legs, get in the end zone.
Terwilliger's extra point is up and good. We are tied at 14 apiece in the third quarter, and we'll be back in 60 seconds. You're tuned into West Virginia High School playoff football on Talk Radio WRNR and WRNR TV on YouTube.
This is Eric at Hancock Chevrolet. Over the last decade, the way we buy things have evolved. Now, you get on your phone, click Want It, and it shows up at your front door. At Hancock Chevrolet, it is that easy. We've changed the car buying experience on the I-81 corridor forever. And with a return policy better than Walmart, there's absolutely no reason to buy a new or used car, truck, or SUV anywhere else. Just like Amazon, Hancock Chevrolet will deliver the vehicle to you, where you are, and on your time. And if you don't want it, return it. No questions asked. Why waste your time in a car dealership playing the dumb back-and-forth games? Besides, we hate it more than you do. I assure you, no dealership from Winchester, Virginia to Washington, D.C. will beat our price. No dealership from Cumberland to Baltimore, Maryland will beat our price. And no other dealership will allow you to return it if you don't want it. Hancock Chevrolet absolutely provides the best experience at the best price. Visit HancockChevy.com to schedule your VIP experience. Click on the vehicle you want, and your new ride will be delivered to you at no risk.
See dealer for details.
Welcome back to Huntington High School. We are tied up at 14 all between Martinsburg and Huntington with 8:18 to go in the third quarter of the semifinal Class AAA game. After a 12-yard jet sweep from Murphy Clement to tie things up, it's Brett Terwilliger on to kickoff for Martinsburg, who we saw to start off this second half had a successful onside kick. And again, Zaza Jackson, the lone return man, back deep for Huntington at the 15-yard line. Terwilliger at the 30-yard line will run forward. It looks like he's electing to kick it deep. It's a low line drive that will bounce at the 10 and eventually recovered on the scoop by Zaza Jackson. Jackson catches it at the 5, runs forward, and will be tackled just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. 1st and 10 Huntington.
I like that decision to kick it deep there because we have to remember Highlanders had more points at halftime, obviously. But one of their 2 touchdowns that they had was after a fumble on a punt return where they got the ball at the 15-yard line. They only needed to go 15 yards for that touchdown. Pretty easy stuff. Outside of that, been a pretty stout defensive performance by the Bulldogs.
Waco sends Jackson in motion. He keeps it himself, goes up the middle, but Martinsburg read it. It's Harden on the sack alongside Kai Fegan. A loss of 3 on the play makes it 2nd and 13. That's the pressure you typically see from Martinsburg. Great play by the linebackers to get the stop on the read option.
They just went for a QB draw there, and they had it read. They had both those multiple guys coming off the side there, Fagan, Eric King, off that left side, and just unblocked. They came, hit him hard.
Waco sends a man in motion, gets the snap, dropping back, looking to pass to the far side of the field. He chucks it deep for Crawford, and Musgrove doesn't have it. Crawford does, but he's out of bounds, they say, so that'll bring up 3rd down and 13. I thought that was a for-sure interception by Musgrove, but Crawford was able to just jump an inch higher, but he was out of bounds.
They've really liked going at Musgrove ever since that he's come in to replace the injured Jameer Hunter, and they've liked going to Crawford there on that side, who's 6'1", 175 pounds, but it hasn't worked out so far. There's 3 targets, none of them have gone for catches, although they've come close a few times.
Martinsburg looks to be sending the pressure. 3rd and 13, Laco drops back the pass. Hit as he throws. It's caught by Harris, who bobbled it but was able to regain possession. Tackled at the 30-yard line by Dover and Pearson, and he's short of the 1st down. That'll bring up a 4th down and 4, and the punt unit will come out for Huntington. So Martinsburg gets the stop it needs. 7:21 to go in the third. It's 14 all between the Bulldogs and the Highlanders.
There you go, 3 and out. Get your offense right back out on the field. Try to get this lead back.
On to punt is Wilson. Back to returns Musgrove. Wilson gets the snap. High end-over-end kick to the near side. Caught by Musgrove at the 35. He cuts to the left, then back to his right. Stuffed at the 40-yard line. They'll say he got to the 41-yard line. 1st and 10, Martinsburg, with 7:16 to go, 7:15 to go in the third. The clock, for some reason, winding down right now. It's still going. They still haven't stopped it. There's been at least 10 seconds that went off the clock. It's finally stopped at 7:07.
And it doesn't seem like any of the officials noticed.
But there should at least be 8 to 10 seconds put back on that clock. 1st and 10, ball at the 41 for Martinsburg. Bajent looks to the far side. He fires a dart caught by Clement on the screen, and he gains 11 yards, goes out of bounds at the 48-yard line on the far side in Huntington territory. 1st down, Martinsburg.
So let's see. They might say he was out at about midfield there. Say he was about a yard short. Say it was only about 9.
Don't agree with that one, but you are correct. That's where they say Clement went out. It is a 2nd and 1. So
not a favorable spot there.
Not at all. Bajent sends Pearson in motion. Pump fakes. Throws underneath for Dover, who was double-teamed, and it falls short and incomplete as it was Harrison Ty in on the defense. Brings up a 3rd and 1 for Martinsburg at the 50.
Just went for another screen pass there, and again they had it read. There's been a couple times in this game that Huntington's been able to read the screen passes. Hasn't worked out quite as well as it tends to against other teams.
3 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far side for Bajent. He has Grantham to his left. High snap. Bajent hands it off to Grantham. Grantham has space up the middle, and he tries to stiff-arm Jackson, but Jonathan Jackson meets him. It's a 1st down for Martinsburg on the run by Grantham into Huntington territory at the 37-yard line.
That's the kind of hole you've been waiting to have opened up all game long. Grantham's longest carry before that was 4 yards. That one goes for 13.
1st and 10, Martinsburg going hurry up. Bajent sends Pearson in motion. It's a jet sweep to Pearson from right to left. Pearson gets tripped up by Zaza Jackson. No gain on the play, brings up 2nd and 10.
Try to get things going out to the outside there. Zaza Jackson has been quite a menace out there on the side for Huntington, making plays, particularly on the outside.
2nd down, 6:10 to go in the third. Bajent play action, chucks a DPS. Clement goes up for it, but it's intercepted by Crawford at the 6-yard line. Crawford was able to snatch it out of Clement's hands for the interception. Huntington gets the ball, 1st and 10 at the 6.
Something we mentioned in pregame was that Huntington had 2 DBs with 4 or 5 interceptions on the year, and that one with 4 being Avante Crawford. That's his 5th. I'm not sure if Bajent saw him over the top at the free safety position, because Murphy Clement looked like he had the corner beat, but it was a tough window to try and throw in between the safety and the corner on the wheel route that he was running. Just hung up in the air just a little too far and a little too long, and Crawford used his skills to go up and get the ball.
Laco sends Zaza Jackson in motion. He rolls out to his right, looking downfield for Harris, but he just has to throw it out. It's incomplete, and a late flag thrown in the end zone. And if it's an intentional grounding, was it in the end zone for a safety, Martinsburg's asking. It's 5:50 to go in the third. It's 14-all between Martinsburg and Huntington. And they call roughing the passer. I saw nobody hit Laco. But it's a roughing the passer penalty. And that's going to allow Huntington to avoid being in the back of its own end zone.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what that was, unless it was a very sneaky hit to the head after he threw the ball.
I didn't see it.
Yeah.
Didn't hear the number either. But that penalty will spot the ball for Huntington now. at the 22-yard line for the Highlanders with a 1st and 10. Waco sends a man in motion. He hands it off to Graves, and Graves going to be stopped by Chalice for a gain of 1 to bring up 2nd and 9.
Even with that penalty, I mean, Huntington is barely outside of their own 20-yard line, so there's still plenty of time to make sure that Huntington doesn't get anything going on this drive.
Huntington breaks the huddle. It is 2nd and 9 at the 24-yard line. Waco gets a snap, hands it off to Graves, who goes up the middle, and this time again met by Chalice alongside Hardin and King. Only 1 more yard gain to bring up 3rd down. Looks like they say he got 2 yards, so at the 26-yard line instead of the 25 to bring up a 2nd and 6.
So watching the replay of that roughing the passer call, Braden Herring did hit him after he threw the ball, but it wasn't that long after he threw the ball. So it was a touch. It was a judgment call there by the officials, we'll call it. And we'll leave it at that.
3rd and 6, Laco dropping back. The pass, feels the pressure from King. Fagan almost gets to him. He rolls out to the left. Hit as he throws, and it's picked off on the near side by Buzz Dover. And Dover will have the ball for Martinsburg at the 41-yard line. It honestly looked like he was tripped up by Pearson accidentally. Otherwise, he would have been running down the near sideline. But Martinsburg gets the ball back.
Well, one of our keys to the game before we started here was you got to win the turnover battle. And after Bajent turns the ball over himself, Huntington coughs it right back up and puts the Bulldogs back on the Highlander side of the field.
So it's 1st and 10. Murphy Clement will be in at quarterback now for Martinsburg. He is Grantham to his left, 3 receivers to the far side, 1 to the near side. Clement in shotgun formation, sets, sends Chalice in motion, gets the snap. He's going to run it himself to the left side. Gets a beautiful block from Pearson down the far side. Stiff arms off Jonathan Jackson before being pushed out of bounds at the 25-yard line. 1st down, Martinsburg.
They're starting to get Murphy Clement going. That's
it's a
exactly
15-yard pickup for Clement. Excuse me, 14
time.
yards, as they say he went out at the 26, not the 25.
It's going to be big. He didn't have any carries or catches in that first half. But now he's gotten 3 touches in the 3rd quarter. One of them went for a 12-yard touchdown. That one went for 15 yards.
3 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far side. Clement gets the play call from the far sideline. He has Zion Grantham at running back to his left. 1st and 10, 4:12 to go. High snap, Clement able to snag it out of the air. Runs to the left side, cuts back to the right, goes up the middle, picks up a few yards before being tackled. Brings up a 2nd down after a 4-yard gain to make it a 2nd and 6.
He runs with a lot of patience. He's not too quick to try to get out in front of his blockers. He's very athletic, so if he did run full speed the entire time, he would be bound to outrun some of his blocking. But he doesn't do that. He sits back and waits for the blocks to develop. That one only gets him 4 yards, but there's a lot of players that wouldn't even be able to get 4.
As we are being asked to restart the game clock, it is a 2nd down and 6, ball on the 22-yard line of Huntington for Martinsburg. We're tied up at 14 with 4 minutes to go in the 3rd. The game clock now underneath 4 minutes. Bajent, play action pass, floats it to the far side, caught by Grantham on the wheel route. He has a 1st down and more inside the 10, tackled at the 9-yard line.
That's something that's really been working the last few weeks for this Bulldogs offense is the wheel routes and just passes out of the backfield in general to Zion Grantham. He's become a lot more of a threat in the receiving game as the year has gone on, and it's been a big addition to what they can do.
3 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far side. Bajent gets the snap, keeps it himself, goes up the middle, lowers his shoulder, into the end zone. Touchdown, Martinsburg. 3:23 to go in the 3rd. Your Bulldogs retake the lead, 20-14 on the quarterback keeper.
Well, you really don't expect a quarterback keeper, a power run with Ezra Bajan. I think that's exactly why you run a play like that. Bajan using his legs there, getting into the end zone. Really good blocking up front by the offensive line. He wasn't even touched until he got about to the 2-yard line.
Pearson on the hold. Terwilliger on to attempt the extra point, but clear motion from Wayne Harris on the right side of the line. And we'll see if Martinsburg decides to accept it. And they do. Oh, now it becomes interesting because the ball gets moved up. It's 20-14. It's on the 1 instead of the 3, but it still looks like they're going to go for the extra point with Terwilliger. Terwilliger retakes his steps. Snap back to Pearson. It's delayed as they look to the far side. Now it's back. Pearson bobbles it, gets the hold down. The kick is up, and it is good. Makes it 21-14, 3:23 to go in the third. Martinsburg now leads Huntington. We're back in 60 seconds on Talk Radio WRNR and WRNR TV on YouTube.
When will I be able to retire? How do I make the most of the money I have? How do I leave a lasting legacy to my loved ones? I'm Philip McCoy, financial advisor with the Mirius Group, a private wealth advisory practice of Ameriprise Financial Services Incorporated. Call us today at 304-263-4343 to help you make the most of your financial future. Our office is located at 1270 Winchester Avenue, Martinsburg, West Virginia.
Ameriprise Financial Services Incorporated, member FINRA and SIPC.
The Palace Lounge in Martinsburg is the place to be. Join us every night to relax and enjoy football or basketball games featuring either the Martinsburg Bulldogs, Shepherd University Rams, or West Virginia Mountaineers. We will have steak night every Wednesday, trip nights every Thursday, and now taco and margarita nights every Tuesday. You can find us on Facebook or call 304-267-7520. The Palace Lounge is located at 1350 Edwin Miller Boulevard in Martinsburg.
Welcome back. Martinsburg has retook the lead, up 21-14 with 3:23 to go in the third after Ezra Bajan kept it himself, went up the middle for the touchdown. It's Brent Terwilliger on to kick off for the Bulldogs. He has the ball on his green kicking tee at the 40-yard line on the far side hash marks. He walks back to return for for Huntington is Zaza Jackson. Terwilliger's kick, high end over end to the far side, bounces at the 10 and goes out of bounds. So it will be an illegal procedure accepted by Huntington to put them in solid field position to start.
So again, outside of that drive that started in the red zone for the Highlanders, there hasn't been a lot of offensive production for Huntington. Like we mentioned, they like to run the ball, but so far it's really been, let's see, add our stats up here, 36 rushing yards so far for Huntington. They've barely had any more passing the ball as well with Laco. So it's been tough to move the ball so far for Huntington. And if the Bulldogs have gotten things going, they need to as well before this gets out of hand.
1st and 10 from the 35. Laco gets the snap, drops back the pass, fires it to the far side. It's caught by Crawford. Crawford gets past his defender, out in space on the far side, in Martinsburg territory, stopped just shy of the 45 at the 46-yard line. It's a 1st and 10 for the Highlanders. I'll say he was tackled at the 47-yard line of Martinsburg.
That's finally a catch on the board for Crawford after they've been going to him a lot ever since Jameer Hunter's gone down with an injury.
Three receivers near side, one to the far side for Laco and Huntington's offense. Laco gets the snap, again drops back the pass, looks for Harris in the middle of the field, and he catches it, but then tries to hurdle Musgrove, but Musgrove trips him up at the 21-yard line, but it's another big play for the Highlanders to make it 1st and 10 at the 22 of Martinsburg.
You just have to give credit to Wayne Harris, get himself open there. Got himself enough time back there. Pressure didn't get back to Laco. So this is where you got to have a bend, don't break defense as they go towards the red zone.
2:25 to go in this third quarter. Laco sends Harris in motion from right to left. Gets the snap. It's low, so he has to keep it himself. Goes up the middle, and nobody's near him. Into the end zone. Touchdown, Huntington. It is now 21-20 with 2:16 to go. The play looked like a disaster at the start as the snap was low. Laco scooped it up off the ground, ran up the middle, and nobody was there for Martinsburg.
Well, it was almost like that the fumble and the snap even helped out the play there as it threw off the timing of when he ran up the field, and the middle of the field had just gotten wide open by the time he ran up through it.
II's extra point is good, so we're tied now at 21 with 2:16 to go in the third. We'll step aside for a 60-second break. You're tuned into West Virginia High School playoff football on Talk Radio WRNR and WRNR TV on YouTube.
What came first, the chicken or the egg? No matter what you think, you can have it either way. Rock's new bagel croissant and chicken waffle breakfast sandwiches are made fresh every morning. Rock's local market.
Rise and shine. You're gonna be late for work. Good morning, sleepyhead. Have a good one.
Rock's new bagel croissant and chicken waffle breakfast sandwiches are made fresh every morning. Rock's local market.
Hi, I'm Annette McDonald, and I am the designer at Orsini's in Martinsburg, West Virginia. We welcome you into our store to show you a complete line of what we do here. We design your cabinetry, quartz countertops, granite countertops, hardware, anything for the full remodel of your kitchen and your home needs. We also do bathrooms, and we have flooring available too. We make sure that your project with Orsini's is the best in the market. Welcome to Orsini's.
Orsini's.com.
Welcome back to Huntington High School. The third quarter of this Class AAA semifinal playoff game between Huntington and Martinsburg is now tied once again, this time at 21 all with 2:16 to go in the third. On to kick off is Johnny II for Huntington. Back to return is Blackwood and Musgrove. It's a high end-over-end kick that will bounce into the middle of the end zone for a touchback. So it's 1st and 10 Martinsburg at the 20-yard line of the Bulldogs.
So now we may have entered a little bit of a shootout here as Huntington was able to figure out how to get things going on offense, get down the field and score that one. Little bit, you could consider it maybe a little bit of a busted, broken play there that got that touchdown, but they were moving the ball before that one. So now it might be Ezra Bajent that has to come up big for the rest of this game and put some more points up on the board.
Bass at center, puts his ball, snapped back to Bajent. Bajent throws the pass to the near side, bobbled by Dover, finally able to make the catch, picks up 2 yards to bring up 2nd down and 8. Say he was stopped at the 21-yard line as they now flip the formation. It's trips to the far side, one receiver to the near side. Bajent as Zion Grantham in at running back to his left. 1:45 to go in the third. High snap, and Bajent has to just fall on top of the ball after it was over his head. He brought it back down onto the turf. Loss on the play of 5. Puts the ball at the 15 and makes it a 3rd down and 15 for Martinsburg.
So that's the second time we've seen a bit of a high snap where Bajent got his hands on it. You could say that he should hang on to it, but as the center, you got to put that ball in the chest of your quarterback there. He's not expecting the ball anywhere else.
Bajent with 3 receivers to the far side, 1 to the near, gets the snap, steps up, and it's an in route caught by Dover. Dover shifts past one guy, tries to extend for the 1st down, and they say he was stopped a yard short at the 29, needed to get to the 30, brings up a 4th and 1.
This is a very interesting 4th down call here. Only need 1 yard, but if you don't get it, you're almost giving the ball back to Huntington near the red zone.
Martinsburg's going for it. 4th and 1. 3 receivers near side, 1 to the far side. Bajent going to keep it himself. Goes up the middle, has the 1st down and more. Tripped up at the 36-yard line. It's a gain of 6. 1st down, Martinsburg.
I do like that they went for it there. Trust your offense that's gotten you so many points this whole year. And I like the play call, too, after Bajent just got a touchdown on a similar play and one that you don't run very often.
First and 10 on Martinsburg's 36 for the Bulldogs. Bajent gets the snap. Play action pass. It's a wide receiver screen caught on the far side by Clement, and Clement is drilled after a 1-yard gain on the far side. In to make the tackle was Jordan Price. Brings up a 2nd and 9, and that is the end of the third quarter. We'll step aside, take a 60-second break, then be back for the fourth and final quarter of regulation. You're tuned into West Virginia High School Playoff Football on Talk Radio WRNR and WRNR TV on YouTube.
Put up with your water long enough. It's time for Sunset Water Services, your local water solution since 1989, to fix your water problems. Get better tasting, better smelling, and better looking water today. Say hello to drinking your own delicious water for pennies per gallon. Say yes to healthier skin and hair and to softer and brighter clothes. Sunset Water Services delivers your bags of salt to you, so they'll save your back too. And our products come with a 1-year satisfaction guarantee. Call 304-754-9031 for a free water quality test today. SunsetWater.com.
Welcome back. It is time for the fourth quarter in Huntington, West Virginia, between the Highlanders and the Martinsburg Bulldogs. We're tied up at 21 apiece. It is 2nd and 9 for Martinsburg. Your third quarter, by the way, was brought to you by Parsons Ford at 1400 Shepherdstown Road and online at parsonsford.com. They became number one by making you number one first, as well as the Skinner Law Firm. Injury and consumer rights lawyers. Phone 245-6613 or go to skinnerfirm.com. Trips to the far side, one receiver to the near side for Bajent. Fires it to the far side, caught in the air by Dover. Dover gets back to the ground, spins past one tackle, still on his feet, trying to get some help from Clement, and he's stopped at the 40-yard line, so it's a gain of 3 to bring up third down.
Buzz runs the ball with a lot of toughness. It's hard to bring him down on the first attempt. Especially since he's a little shifty, too. He can make you miss as well. But this is 3rd and long.
3rd and 6 at the 40-yard line of Martinsburg for the Bulldogs. 2 receivers to each side of Ezra Bajent with Grantham to his left. Bajent in shotgun formation. Motion up front. No flag thrown as Huntington can get back to the line. 5 seconds to go on the play clock. 3 seconds to go. They get the snap off in time. Bajent drops back to pass and is sacked at the 27-yard line. Or excuse me, the 32-yard line. And that'll bring up a 4th down.
Man, first sack of the game for Huntington, and that's a huge time to get it. I think if you had gotten a couple yards there, you could have considered going for it. But not with a loss of yards on that one.
So now Martinsburg will have to punt. It is 21-21 with 10:30 to go in the fourth. Bajent back to punt for Martinsburg. He's at the 20-yard line, still waiting for more guys to come in as Reed had to come back in. Lost his mouthpiece, so he had to go back, grab it, and then come back. And it's a delay of game because of that. So that'll back up Martinsburg another 5 yards.
Well, a punt is one of the least consequential times to have a false start, usually. So hopefully it doesn't come back to bite him too much.
10:16 to go in the fourth. Bajent on to punt on this 4th down. Back to return is Wayne Harris. Snap back to Bajent. And it's a knuckleball punt that will bounce at the 35, roll to the 30. And that's where it's downed by Martinsburg. So it's a 1st and 10 for Huntington at the Highlanders' 30-yard line.
So we're tied up, 10 minutes to go. That last drive for the Highlanders, they were able to get things going through the air, and then they had that play when the QB draw up the middle, where Laco was able to get himself into the end zone. I'm not too worried about the Bulldogs defense after that drive. I think there was a couple plays here. There were good catches by the Huntington receivers, but I think that they can adjust. It's a game of inches. Things can go your way on this drive.
Gavin Locko all alone in the backfield. He has 5 wide, 3 to the near side, 1 to the far side. Locko gets the snap, drops back, looking to pass, chucks it deep on the near side for Harris, and it's in and out of his hands and back in, caught at the 39-yard line of Martinsburg. 1st and 10, Huntington. Wow. It was in his hands, in Musgrove's hands, back in his hands, and on the ground, Harris able to allow the ball to just hit him in the gut and hang on for dear life.
So yeah, it was essentially a play where Harris beat Musgrove. It was an underthrown ball by Locko to let Musgrove get a chance at it again, tip that ball, but then, man, Harris really stayed with that one. That is a tough play to make.
1st and 10 on Martinsburg's 39 for Huntington. Locko, halfback toss to the left side for Zaza Jackson, and Jackson is run down by King for a loss on the play on the far side of 1 to bring up 2nd down and 11.
So they've started to figure out, I think Martinsburg has, that Huntington wants to run the ball outside. And they're kind of preparing for it now because the middle of that defense is so strong that you're going to have to get out wide to be able to run the ball at all on this Bulldogs defense. But they've started to adjust, and now that's a great play. Get yourself a tackle for a loss, make it 2nd and long.
Huntington breaks the huddle. 10 seconds left on the play clock. Locko, again alone in the backfield with 5 wide, 3 receivers to the far side, 2 to the near side. He sends 1 in motion. It's Zaza Jackson. Gets the snap, dropping back the pass is Locko. Fires underneath. The pass underthrown, intended for Wayne Harris. He had an open receiver in the end zone on the far side, but didn't see him. And it goes incomplete to bring up a 3rd down and 12.
There was about a half second there where it seemed like Jackson was going to be open, being covered by Murphy Clement, but Clement made a good adjustment to it. Ball hung in the air too long for him to actually take advantage of that small opening that he had. That's good defense.
Tubbs wide open on the far side, hanging out in the end zone all by himself. But it's 3rd and 12. 8:38 to go in the 4th. We're tied up at 21. Huntington with the ball. Gavin Locko gets the snap, drops back the pass. Martinsburg pressures him, and it's a comeback route caught by Harris on the far side, and he has the 1st down before going out of bounds. Let's say if they say that he was inbounds or out of bounds.
I think he got that 1 foot down that he needed. I don't think he got 2.
Say that he did. It's a 1st down for Huntington.
That was a tough toe tap play there. I think if it were the NFL, that wouldn't have been a catch, but he did get that left foot down, it looked like.
So it's a 1st and 10 for Huntington at Martinsburg's 27. King was trying to chase down Locko, but Locko was able to juke past him, then roll out to the left to find Harris. Locko in pistol formation as Jackson lined up behind him to his right. He hands it off to Jackson. Jackson goes up the middle, gets some help, being pushed forward for a gain of 9. Inside the red zone now is Huntington at the 19-yard line with 8:15 to go in the 4th.
For as much as Zaza Jackson is a part of the game plan, a lot of it's been a decoy today. That's his 1st carry of the 2nd half. Goes for 9 yards. It's only his 5th carry of the game overall. He's been kind of all over the field as a wide receiver, running back, a lot of motion.
2nd down and 2. Huntington breaks the huddle. 2 receivers to each side for Locko. Locko as Jackson to his right. Quarterback keeper goes Locko up the middle. Slips through Pearson. Bounces off another tackle into the end zone. Touchdown, Huntington. 7:39 to go. The Highlanders take a 27-21 lead on Martinsburg.
It looked like another one of those inverted veer plays there where Locko had the option to give it to his running back or take off himself, and he took off. And that ends up being his 16th rushing touchdown of the year.
II's extra point is up and good, so it's now 28-21 Huntington with 7:39 to go in the 4th. We'll step aside and take a 60-second break. You're tuned into West Virginia High School football on Talk Radio WRNR and WRNR TV on YouTube.
Ever try to collect on an insurance claim? Perhaps a homeowner's claim, auto accident, or fire? Insurance companies collect money from you for protection should something bad happen. And when it does, they don't want to pay, or they offer too little. At Mansion Ferretti, we have an attorney who worked defending insurance companies and knows all the dirty tricks they play to deny or lowball your claim. Call us today for help in getting what you really deserve. Mansion Ferretti, when you need justice.
With 4 new car dealerships and 4 used car dealerships in 3 states, Parsons is the largest used car and fastest growing new car dealer in the tri-state area. Take Parsons Ford with huge savings on hundreds of new Fords, financing from 0%, Parsons' goal of financing for all, and Parsons' famous above-market trade-in allowances that help make Parsons #1 for used cars too. See why so many won't buy anywhere but Parsons Ford in Martinsburg. We became #1 by making you #1 first. Parsons.
Welcome back to Huntington High School. The Highlanders have a 28-21 lead with 7:39 to go in the fourth after Gavin Locko kept it himself, went up the middle for the touchdown. On to kickoff for Huntington is number 25, Johnny Ii. Back to return is Musgrove and Blackwood for Martinsburg. It's a high end-over-end kick that will bounce into the end zone for another touchback. Martinsburg will start the drive at the 20-yard line for a 1st and 10.
All right, you've got plenty of time here, 7 minutes, 39 seconds. Only down by a touchdown. There's a situation here where you can get a score methodically going down the field, and you'd have enough time to get a stop, get the ball back without having to worry about potential overtime situation. But your offense needs to do work here.
Martinsburg trying to hang on to its postseason win streak that right now is at 23 straight, trying to make it 24, but down by a touchdown. As Bajent pump fakes, drops back the pass, has an open receiver in the middle. It's Clements, in and out of his hands and incomplete. Brings up 2nd and 10.
That's tough there. That's really tough. Murphy Clement, first pass attempt that he had in the game was that 60-yard touchdown. Would have been nice to see things keep going there.
Trips to the far side, one receiver to the near side for Bajent. He has Grantham to his right. Bajent gets the snap, keeps it himself, trips, and goes down after a 3-yard gain to bring up 3 and 7. Didn't see if he tripped over a lineman or if he just accidentally tripped up himself, but he goes down across the 20 at the 23-yard line to bring up a 3rd and 7.
I don't think you have to go forward on 4th down if you don't get this, but you've got to consider it for sure.
3rd and 7, Bajent gets the snap, dropping back the pass. It's a screen pass on the near side, caught by Grantham. Grantham has space on the near side out across the 40, cuts to the near sideline, pushed out of bounds by Harris across the 45. They'll say he went out of bounds at the 41-yard line of Huntington. 1st down, Martinsburg.
That screen pass has worked so far in this game. They've gone to it seldomly. They've only gone to it a handful of times. Obviously, you do it too much, they're going to catch on. But they do it just enough that Huntington is the last thing that they expect.
Shotgun formation for Bajent. He has 3 receivers far side, one to the near. It's a screen pass caught in the slot by Pearson. He breaks off a tackle out almost to the 30, and they'll say he was about maybe half a yard shy of the 1st down marker. We'll see if they give it to him or not. It's really close, tough to tell, and it is a 1st down for Martinsburg. Are they going to say it's 2nd and inches? No, they are going for the 1st down. It has been confirmed on the field.
The chain gang just took him 2nd to get moved down the field there.
6:30 to go in the 4th. Clock winding down for Martinsburg. Down a touchdown, 28-21 on Huntington. Bajent sends Grantham to his right side in shotgun formation. He has 2 receivers to each side. Bajent loses the ball, has to turn around, dive on top of it, gets to it before Donovan Garrett could fall on top of Bajent. It's a loss on the play to bring up 2nd down and long.
Ooh, Ezra, buddy, you got to take the ball with you. You got to take the ball with you before you start running the ball. That QB power with Ezra has worked out so far, because they haven't really seen it coming.
2nd and 17 for Martinsburg. Bajent gets the snap, pump fakes, And he finds Pearson in the middle of the field. Pearson going to his right side on the far side. Out across the 20 is pushed out of bounds by Jonathan Jackson. He has the first down for Martinsburg inside the red zone at the 19-yard line.
That is a good play call right there. That's a tunnel screen that has worked out for them a lot this year, especially to guys like Pearson and Clement. They haven't run it a single time in this game until right there.
1st and 10, Martinsburg. Bagent in shotgun formation has 3 receivers near side, 1 to the far side. He sends Clement in motion from left to right. It's a jet sweep to Clement on that right side. Lowers his shoulder, tries to get past Harris, but Harris uses the sideline to his advantage and pushes Clement out of bounds at the 16-yard line. Brings up 2nd down and 8 with 5:30 to go in this 4th quarter.
There's too much time on the clock here for you to try to run this down and make this one of the final possessions. I think you need to score as quick as you can.
Bagent gets the snap, and he's going to keep it himself, tries to follow a blocker, loses the ball. Is it recovered by Huntington, or what is it out of bounds? They say it was recovered. Wayne Harris recovers the fumble, and Huntington gets the ball back on the turnover.
Ezra was incredibly close to being down on that play. From the far side, it was hard to tell for sure one way or the other. But, man, that hit right there at the end is what pops the ball out. And the referees say that he wasn't down. That's absolutely tough. But it's really disheartening, but it's not over yet. There's 5 minutes left in this game. You're still down by 1 score. It's plenty of time for you to get a stop, get this ball back. You have all 3 of your timeouts.
Flacco, shotgun formation. 2 receivers to the far side, running back to his right. Keeps it himself, goes up the middle. Almost gets the first down as Clement stops him. They'll say he was stopped a yard shy of the first down marker. Cross at the 26-yard line. Brings up 2nd down and 2.
It's been the Huntington offense now is essentially a lot of pulling the guards out from one side or the other to follow for Gavin Locko to be able to follow down the field. Martinsburg has to adjust as they're bringing out the chain gang.
Bring out the chains to see if it's a first down, and it was just shy. So it's 2nd and inches, 4:54 to go in the 4th quarter. It's Huntington 28, Martinsburg 21.
See, they're going to run the ball a lot on this drive here, try to chew this clock down, try to make sure Martinsburg can't get the ball back. You're going to have to be ready for that.
Huntington looked like they wanted to break the huddle, but now goes back into the huddle at the 20-yard line. The ball's at the 26-yard line. They're going to allow that play clock to wind down. It's at 10 seconds before they break the huddle now. 2 receivers to the far side. Nobody near. Sends Harris in motion, hands it off. Going up the middle is Graves, and he has the first down out across the 30 to the 31-yard line. It's a first down for Huntington.
So at 4.5 minutes, you're probably still in a situation where they need to run about 8 plays, run the clock off of all of those to have the potential to run all the time off this clock before you even get into the Martinsburg timeouts that they still have left.
They have all 3. Huntington breaks the huddle, now stops, goes back into the huddle. 10 seconds to go on the play clock. They now break the huddle again. It's Locko in shotgun formation. Sends Jackson in motion. Hands it off to Graves. Graves goes to the left side. He's wrapped up by King. Swung around on that far side and stopped for a gain of 3 to bring up 2nd and 7 as he was tackled at the 34-yard line. Clock at 3:42 and winding down in the 4th quarter. Gavin Locko in the middle of the field at the 26-yard line will now go to the far side hash mark into the huddle of Huntington to give the play call to his teammates. Winner of this one heads to the state championship next week. Loser goes home. Locko, shotgun formation, 2 receivers to near side, gets the snap, fakes the toss to Jackson, keeps it himself. And does he have the first down, or will they say he was stopped half a yard shy? They spot him at the 41-yard line. It's very close. The clock at 3:04, winding down under 3 minutes. And it's a yard short, 3rd and 1.
I think you got to start just stacking the box up further than you have so far in this game. Just trust your DBs one-on-one if they do decide to throw the ball.
It's Harris and Jackson, the two receivers to the near side. Laco with Graves in the backfield. Hands it off to Graves, and Graves is stopped short of the first down. In to make the tackle for Martinsburg, coming from the right side, was Jimmy Harden. 2:31 to go in the 4th. Martinsburg used a timeout. And we'll have to wait and see if they bring out the measurement or not as the ball.
We have a pretty straight-on view of this ball right now. I think it's about a half yard short.
They will measure it. It is a huge decision. They are resetting the game clock as well, up to 2 minutes and 37 seconds. It is Huntington 28, Martinsburg 21 in the 4th quarter as the chain gain comes out. For those watching on WRNR TV on YouTube, we'll try to see if it's a first down or not. And looking at it, it is about an inch or two short of the first down. And Martinsburg will take the timeout. We'll take the timeout with them. Step aside for a 60-second break. You're tuned into West Virginia High School football on Talk Radio WRNR and WRNR TV on YouTube.
Looking to buy a home in the Eastern Panhandle? Thinking about making that big move but don't know where to start? Then call Chris Ross and the Milestone Real Estate Group. Chris is a Martinsburg High School graduate and knows the local market, and he's proven it for the past 15 years at Milestone Real Estate Group. Looking to sell or buy a home? Phone 304-579-7349. That's 304-579-7349. Or go to callchrisross.com. Making milestones is our business.
Hello, this is Mark Sutton of the Sutton & Janelle Law Firm. The right attorney can make all the difference in your case. That's why you should call Sutton & Janelle. We have been serving clients in West Virginia and Maryland since 1999 in the areas of family law, DUI, criminal defense, and personal injury. Sutton & Janelle works hard to obtain a favorable outcome for you at a reasonable rate with affordable payment options. Sutton & Janelle values your rights and is passionate about your success. Contact us today at suttonandjanelle.com.
Welcome back to Huntington High School. 4th down and inches for the Highlanders, who lead Martinsburg 28-21 with 2:37 to go in the 4th, and Huntington's going for it at the 41-yard line. Laco gets the snap. Did he lose the ball? No.
Doesn't look like it.
It looked like he lost the ball because he started to stumble, but he was able to get the first down by a yard. They say he was stopped at the 42.5. It's a first down for Huntington. And that'll allow the clock to keep winding. It is at 2:20 in the 4th quarter. Martinsburg only has 2 timeouts left.
One more first down would make this close to being over. But with 2 timeouts, you're still good here. You stop them on 3 downs, use 2 of your timeouts, you'll get the ball back with some time.
Ball at the 42.5. Laco hands it off to Graves. Graves goes up the middle. Tries to follow his blockers, but Yancey able to shed his blocker. Gets help by Reed. And Martinsburg will take a timeout after a 2-yard gain. Spots the ball at the 45-yard line. Let's keep it here. Give you the 4th quarter sponsors. So we're presented to you by Kelly Allstate Insurance. For all of your insurance needs, call Gary Kelly at 304-263-4596 or stop by 724 Lakeview Drive in Martinsburg, as well as Ollie's VIP Northside, the best local spot to catch sports or hang out with friends. Stop by 36 Veronica Drive in Martinsburg. Ollie's VIP will see you for the game. Martinsburg currently trailing Huntington 28-21 with 1:53 to go in the 4th, as Martinsburg has won 23 straight postseason games, dating all the way back to 2016. The last time Martinsburg lost in the playoffs was at Capitol in 2015. The last and only time they lost to Huntington was 1998. Second down for Huntington at the 45-yard line. They have to get to the 46 on the other side. Locko gets the snap, keeps it himself, and he gets about a yard shy, they say he's down, of the first down marker, and Martinsburg will use its final timeout with 1:42 to go. But right now, Locko is on fire, and Martinsburg has been unable to stop his run up the middle.
And that's really something surprising to be able to say, that you haven't been able to stop the run up the middle, because it's just a different kind of run, because a lot of these teams have just been running the ball this year straight up the middle with their running back. And even a team like Musselman wasn't able to get things going with Baden Hartman up the middle running the ball. It's just a different level of athlete that Gavin Locko is, and they have these bigger offensive linemen than a team like, say, Musselman, where they've been pulling these guards, give them a little bit of extra blockers on the side that they're running the ball to, and it's just been able to work so far. And at third down here, it's essentially 1 yard for the rest of your season here, because if they get this first down, no timeouts, under 2 minutes left, Huntington's going to be able to run the ball and run this clock out.
But also, if you're Huntington,
even,
do you go for it on fourth? It's a third down and 1 right now, so even if you do get stopped,
it might
you
be,
trust your offense to put the game away as you lead 28-21.
I think you would have to with how they've been
running.
Right
now it's third down. Locko in shotgun formation has Graves to his right. Whistle blows as the play clock was not turned on.
Now, if you're able to stop Huntington for a loss of a few yards, maybe they don't go for it. But I think for 1 yard, they would go for it.
3rd and 1, Locko sets, gets the snap, runs out to the right, and he slips through the tackle, has the first down, and is stopped at the 41-yard line. That will move the chain, stop the clock at 1:41, and put a bow on things, it seems like, for the Huntington Highlanders. Clock now winding down. It's 28-21 Huntington. 1st and 10. And it seems like the Highlanders will be the ones heading to Wheeling Island Stadium next week instead of Martinsburg.
Yeah, they were just able to get the run game going in the second half. Gavin Locko had 3 yards rushing at halftime, and in the second half alone he's had 70.
Locko in shotgun formation. Gets the snap. Will take a knee. With 1:07 left, the clock winding down to bring up 2nd down. Huntington fans on their feet, getting fired up by the Highlanders, realizing that they will finally be the ones to knock off Martinsburg and the winning streak in the playoffs and head to Wheeling Island next week. And the Bulldogs season will come to an end with a 10-3 record. The student section getting ready to storm the field as they run out of the bleachers on the near side. 30 seconds to go, and Martinsburg jumps off sides. And the encroachment penalty will, I believe, keep the clock running still. And now Huntington doesn't even need to snap the ball and take a final knee.
Well, they haven't started the clock back up yet, if that is the case.
Play clock's been reset. It's at 30 seconds. And now there's some confusion going on. The clock should have been running, and it is now.
It is, yep.
And yes, they don't have to take the snap. The water being poured on Billy Seals at the 50-yard line, and Huntington will head to the state championship game. Final score, Huntington 28, Martinsburg 21, as both teams now will shake hands at the 50-yard line. 5 seconds still left on the game clock. They wait to allow the student section to storm the field after both teams shake hands. But Martinsburg's season has come to an end in Huntington, West Virginia. We will now step aside for a 2-minute break and then be back for the post-game show. You are tuned in to West Virginia High School Playoff Football on Talk Radio WRNR and WRNR TV on YouTube.
If you're in an accident, the first thing that you have to do is call 911. You have to get medical care immediately.
The next thing you need to do is call us. When you hire us at the Skinner Law Firm, what we do is we are going to investigate your case, and we're going to lay out the options that you have, all at no cost to you.
We will use all of our resources and all of our experience to get you what you deserve.
The Skinner Law Firm, SkinnerFirm.com. Ollie's VIP North Side is the best spot to catch all your favorite teams. Join us Monday for Dollar Wings and Monday Night Football, Thursdays on the patio for the Cornhole Tourney, Friday Night Lights with happy hour specials, or Saturdays during or after the college games for Steak Night. Get a ribeye or New York steak for just $26.95. Ollie's has great food and drink menus too, along with 17 TVs to watch any game of your choice from anywhere at the bar or their outdoor patio and fire pit. So stop by and see for yourself today at 36 Veronica Drive in Martinsburg. That's Ollie's VIP North Side. We'll see you for the game.
Mayhem is everywhere.
I'm your new bangs, and you can't stop staring at me. That's it. Just tilt the rearview mirror over here. And while you're checking me out more times than a library book, your car is wandering into that lane over there. More bangs? Neat. And if you've got cut rate insurance, you could be paying for this yourself. So get Allstate.
Call Martinsburg Allstate agent Gary Kelly today at 304-263-4596.
Hi, it's Talk Radio WRNR and TV10 Spencer Dupuis. When I got into a car accident and needed to get another vehicle, I wanted to go somewhere I could trust. So I went to the Heffley Motor Company at 993 Hedgesville Road. As a first-time car buyer, I really didn't know what to expect. But at Heffley, they treated me like family. Every step in the process was seamless. Not only did they give me a great deal, but they also helped me secure an amazing interest rate. Now I know firsthand why Heffley has such a great reputation in this community. I ride with Heffley Motor Company, so you should too.
We welcome you back to Huntington High School as the Highlanders get a 28-21 win over your Martinsburg Bulldogs. We welcome you into the post-game show brought to you by the Palace Lounge on Edwin Miller Boulevard in Martinsburg, with a full lunch and dinner menu with daily specials and a clean, comfortable atmosphere. Check out the menu on the Palace Lounge Facebook page. I'm Colin McLaughlin for Talk Radio WRNR and WRNR TV on YouTube. Alongside me is Dylan Bishop. Our crew is Donna Schaffner as our executive producer, Braden Schaffner, our main cameraman, Spencer Dupuis down on the sideline, and back at the studio, it is Nick Verzolini. Again, 28-21, Huntington gets the win. They will head to the state championship game next week to take on the winner of Parkersburg South and Hurricane, as Huntington fired up. The student section has stormed the field. They're all meeting at the 50-yard line to the celebration because they are finally the ones to dethrone Martinsburg, which means the postseason win streak comes to an end at 23 straight games now, and the season for Martinsburg comes to an end, and they fall to 10-3. Huntington now improves to 12 wins and 1 loss, as the Highlanders win streak is now 12 straight, as Martinsburg will huddle up one last time to our right side, and here shortly, once that ends, we will send it down to Spencer Dupuis as we wait for one last Bulldog player to get into that team huddle. They break, and once Spencer is ready alongside the head coach of the Martinsburg Bulldogs, Britt Sherman, we will send it down to him after a very emotional loss, and let's do so.
Thanks, Colin. Down here with Coach Sherman. Tough way to end the season, but a heck of a ball game.
Yeah, it was a great game, and that's what semifinal games are supposed to be. I mean, 2 versus 3. I mean, our ranking system's been pretty solid throughout the years. So, this far into the playoffs, it should be a close game, and hats off to Huntington for playing the way they did.
And obviously tough on all the players, but especially the seniors.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to thank all the seniors, and some of their parents may not be here. They're all great young men, and that's the best part about, being a part of a football team and seeing them in life, and they're great young men, and I do hate this for them, but they have a lot brighter things to look forward to in their life because they are great young men.
And I told the underclassmen Starts after winter break?
Yep. Yeah, we start – our football season starts January 3rd, 4th, whenever we come back from winter break, and we start in the weight room.
All right, Coach, looking forward to next year. Thanks for the time.
All right, guys. Thank you guys for your coverage.
All right, Colin, back up to you.
Thank you, Spencer, as well as Coach Sherman. We'll step aside and take another 2-minute break and then be back for the post-game stats. You're tuned in to West Virginia High School Playoff Football on Talk Radio WRNR, WRNR TV on YouTube.
Hi, I'm Annette McDonald, and I am the designer at Orsini's in Martinsburg, West Virginia. We welcome you into our store to show you a complete line of what we do here. We design your cabinetry, quartz countertops, granite countertops, hardware, anything for the full remodel of your kitchen and your home needs. We also do bathrooms, and we have flooring available too. We make sure that your project with Orsini's is the best in the market. Welcome to Orsini's.
Orsini's.com.
Remember when you were a little kid and saw your first deer?
Oh, how cute.
As an adult, maybe you've had a different experience.
Where'd that come from?
Bambi mess up your dream machine? Call Cody's Auto Body today at 304-901-4777 and get the work done right the first time. Cody's Auto Body, 851 Wilston Street in Martinsburg, has a team of auto body professionals with a lifetime of experience putting your ride back together again, regardless of how it got that way. Cody's Auto Body.
The Palace Lounge in Martinsburg is the place to be. Join us every night to relax and enjoy football or basketball games featuring either the Martinsburg Bulldogs, Shepherd University Rams, or West Virginia Mountaineers. We will have steak night every Wednesday, trip nights every Thursday, and now taco and margarita nights every Tuesday. You can find us on Facebook or call 304-267-7520. The Palace Lounge is located at 1350 Edwin Miller Boulevard in Martinsburg.
I'm Jonathan Bodwell, Bodwell Insurance Solutions, your local Medicare and life insurance agency. We are here to help you navigate the Medicare maze. We represent all of the major carriers, and you do not pay any more to go through us than if you go directly through a carrier. But if you go through us, you have a local professional to help you with all your Medicare needs, not a voice that could be in some other part of the world. Bodwell Insurance Solutions, your local Medicare agency. BodwellInsuranceSolutions.com or 304-283-0864.
We welcome you back to the Palace Lounge post-game show. Final score, Huntington 28, Martinsburg 21. Let's now get you your post-game stats, brought to you by Bechtel Jewelers, West Virginia's largest Pandora retailer on Route 11 south of Inwood, taking care of you like nobody's business. Dylan?
Well, let's start out on the Martinsburg side of things. Ezra Bajan, quarterback, ended up being 22 of 29, 216 passing yards, 2 interceptions, no passing touchdowns, but he did no passing touchdowns. He did have a rushing touchdown. It was the one passing touchdown on the day was from Murphy Clement, who ended up throwing 2 passes, one being that 60-yard touchdown to Buzz Dover, first touchdown of the game. And Buzz Dover ended up having 8 catches for 105 yards receiving and that one receiving touchdown. Roman Pearson added in 71 yards through the air on 6 catches. Also with 6 catches was Zion Grantham, ended up with 94 yards. Grantham only had 9 carries for 29 rushing yards. Murphy Clement ended up carrying the ball 5 times for 35 yards and a rushing touchdown on that jet sweep that he had. Then on the Huntington Highlanders side of things, it was Gavin Locko, who was 10 of 17, passing the ball for 142 yards, 1 passing touchdown, 1 interception. He also added on 14 carries for 68 yards and 2 touchdowns. Today he got himself over 1,000 yards on the season when he had 14 rushing touchdowns coming into this game, 32 passing touchdowns. So he got himself just 1 touchdown shy of 50 on the season after today's performance. Graves had 10 carries for 30 yards and a rushing touchdown, and then Wayne Harris, being the leading receiver on the day for the Highlanders, ended up with 7 catches for 101 yards and 1 receiving touchdown.
Alrighty, thank you, Dylan. That was your post-game stats brought to you by Bechtel Jewelers. We'll take another 2-minute break and then be back and give you our awards for this afternoon's game. You're tuned into West Virginia High School football on Talk Radio WRNR, WRNR TV on YouTube.
When will I be able to retire? How do I make the most of the money I have? How do I leave a lasting legacy to my loved ones? I'm Philip McCoy, financial advisor with the Mirius Group, a private wealth advisory practice of Ameriprise Financial Services Incorporated. Call us today at 304-263-4343 to help you make the most of your financial future. Our office is located at 1270 Winchester Avenue, Martinsburg, West Virginia.
Ameriprise Financial Services Incorporated, member FINRA and SIPC. Radon is the second leading cause of lung cancer deaths in the United States each year. But do you know the radon levels in your home? Home is a place to live, love, and laugh, not a place to breathe air containing radon. The Berkeley and Morgan County Health Departments are distributing free confidential radon test kits, and you can get yours at the Berkeley County Health Department office in Martinsburg and the Morgan County Health Department office in Berkeley Springs. Protect your home and family. Get your free radon test kit today. Ollie's VIP North Side is the best spot to catch all your favorite teams. Join us Monday for Dollar Wings and Monday Night Football, Thursdays on the patio for the Cornhole Tourney, Friday night lights with happy hour specials, or Saturdays during or after the college games for steak night. Get a ribeye or New York steak for just $26.95. Ollie's has great food and drink menus too, along with 17 TVs to watch any game of your choice from anywhere at the bar or their outdoor patio and fire pit. So stop by and see for yourself today at 36 Veronica Drive in Martinsburg. That's Ollie's VIP North Side. We'll see you for the game.
Gentlemen, start her engine. Yes, this holiday season, surprise her with the gift that adds fuel, turns her key, and starts her engine with a little box from Bechtel Jewelers. When you hand that little box to her, the key clicks in her ignition. She opens it, and you hear that internal combustion. She puts it on, and her engine catches fire. Then her pedal is all the way down. She kisses you, and zoom, you're burning down the highway of love. Gentlemen, start her engine this holiday season with a gift from Bechtel Jewelers, Route 11 South, Inwood.
Back to the final segment of the Palace Lounge post-game show on Talk Radio WRNR and WRNR TV on YouTube. Final score again, Huntington 28, Martinsburg 21. So Huntington heads to the state championship next week. Let's get into the awards now, starting with our electrifying play of the game brought to you by Orsini's Home Store, not just an appliance store any longer. Visit them at 360 Hack Wilson Way in Martinsburg or go to Orsinis.com.
I'm going to give this one to the Bulldogs. Even though they were losing team today, that 60-yard touchdown for the first touchdown of the game, where they ran the end around, handed the ball off to Grantham. Grantham tossed it back to Murphy Clement on an end around, and he threw the ball to a wide open, buzzed over for a 60-yard touchdown to get things going and get Martinsburg that lead to start things out.
Alrighty, there you go. That's our electrifying play of the game. Let's now get to our collision of the game, brought to you by Cody's Body Shop at 851 Wilson Street in Martinsburg. Family-owned, offering superior customer service and great pricing for a job done by experienced certified technicians. Phone 304-901-4777 or visit their Facebook page.
I think this one has to be the late-game fumble caused by Huntington on the run by Azerbaijan when the Bulldogs were trying to get back and tie things up, and that ended up being the difference where Huntington kept the ball, ran the rest of the time off the clock, and they were able to get the win.
Alrighty, let's now give you our Good Hands catch of the game, brought to you by Kelly Allstate Insurance. For all of your insurance needs, call Gary Kelly at 304-263-4596 or stop by 724 Lakeview Drive in Martinsburg.
I think this is another one that unfortunately has to go to the Highlanders. It was the 31-yard catch by Wayne Harris later in the game in the second half, where he caught the ball over Sherrod Musgrove. Musgrove was able to get his hand on the ball, pop it up in the air, and then Wayne Harris was able to hold on to that ball and bring it in for a big first down.
And last but not least, our player of the game, brought to you by Bodwell Insurance Solutions, a local professional to help you with all of your Medicare needs. Visit BodwellInsuranceSolutions.com or call 304-283-0864.
I mean, it's got to be Gavin Locko. I mean, he had a really good performance today. Again, he ended up getting himself up to 49 total touchdowns on the year after this game, with 1 through the air, 2 on the ground. Got himself over 1,000 yards on the year, making himself a big-time contender for the year-end awards for Players of the Year, whether it's Gatorade Player of the Year or the Kennedy Award. And today it was 68 yards rushing, 2 rushing touchdowns, including those big ones in the second half. I mean, he basically did all of his work in the second half. It was 70 yards rushing just in the third and fourth quarters to be able to get 22 and 19-yard rushing touchdowns on his own. and put the Highlanders on the board for their 2 second-half touchdowns. And be able to throw the ball competently, only one interception, get the ball to his receivers like Harris and Crawford and Zaza Jackson as well. It was just a great performance by a really good player that was able to take down a team that no one else in the state of West Virginia has been able to take down all year in the Martinsburg Bulldogs.
Again, your final score, Huntington 28, Martinsburg 21. So Martinsburg's season comes to an end with a 10-3 record. Huntington improves to 12-1, and they will head to the state championship game on Wheeling Island next week, Saturday at noon. Waiting them is the winner of Hurricane and Parkersburg South. But for the last time this season for Martinsburg football, Colin McLaughlin signing off on Talk Radio WRNR and WRNR TV on YouTube. Alongside me is Dylan Bishop for a terrific crew. Back at the studio, Nick Verzolini. And here at the stadium in Huntington High School is Donna Schaffner, Spencer Dupuis, and Braden Schaffner. Next week, we will have Shepherd football for you on TV 10 and WRNR TV on YouTube as the Rams are in the Super 1 Region Championship, taking on, I believe, IUP for a rematch of the PSAC Championship. Have a great rest of your weekend, and hopefully next year we'll be back for another state championship season for Martinsburg.
Ollie's VIP North Side is the best spot to catch all your favorite teams. Join us Monday for Dollar Wings and Monday Night Football, Thursdays on the patio for the Cornhole Tourney, Friday Night Lights with happy hour specials, or Saturdays during or after the college games for Steak Night. Get a ribeye or New York steak for just $26.95. Ollie's has great food and drink menus too, along with 17 TVs to watch any game of your choice from anywhere at the bar or their outdoor patio and fire pit. So stop by and see for yourself today at 36 Veronica Drive in Martinsburg. That's Ollie's VIP North Side. We'll see you for the game.
Mayhem is everywhere. I'm your new bangs, and you can't stop staring at me. That's it. Just tilt the rearview mirror over here. And while you're checking me out more times than a library book, your car is wandering into that lane over there. More bangs? Neat. And if you've got cut rate insurance, you could be paying for this yourself. So get Allstate.
Call Martinsburg Allstate agent Gary Kelly today at 304-263-4596.
What came first, the chicken or the egg? No matter what you think, you can have it either way. Rock's new bagel croissant and chicken waffle breakfast sandwiches are made fresh every morning. Rock's local market.
Rise and shine. You're gonna be late for work. Good morning, sleepyhead. Have a good one.
Rock's new bagel croissant and chicken waffle breakfast sandwiches are made fresh every morning. Rock's local market.
Radon is the second leading cause of lung cancer deaths in the United States each year. But do you know the radon levels in your home? Home is a place to live, love, and laugh, not a place to breathe air containing radon. The Berkeley and Morgan County Health Departments are distributing free confidential radon test kits, and you can get yours at the Berkeley County Health Department office in Martinsburg and the Morgan County Health Department office in Berkeley Springs. Protect your home and family. Get your free radon test kit today.
Welcome you into the Extra Point Scoreboard Show. I'm Nick Verzolini. As your final score once again from Huntington, the Highlanders beat the Bulldogs 28-21. Probably going to be the best game in the playoffs. But we'll see next week. It definitely sets up an interesting matchup here between Parkersburg South and Huntington, as the Parkersburg South Patriots are going to win over the Hurricane Redskins 51-21. Independence in AA gets a win over North Marion 58-19. Frankfurt Herbert Hoover, I don't believe that game has started yet, but they will take on in AA as well to have the right to play Independence. And then James Monroe beat Wheeling Central 27-7 in Single A, and also in Single A, Williamstown beat Doddridge County 53-21. Shepherd, the Rams, were victorious today over, completely blanked there for a second, but the Rams get the win today over Slippery Rock and will travel back to IUP for a rematch with the Crimson Hawks. We will be there for the regional championship game as Shepherd looks to repeat as region champs and get revenge for the Rams' loss earlier this season to IUP in the PSAC Championship. So it should be a fun game. We will be there, though. Kickoff, not certain what time yet, but we'll go on about 30 minutes prior to that. So stay tuned to the Sports Mix this week for all the updates on Shepherd football, as well as on our Facebook page for when we go on the air. But we'll see what time it will be, and we'll run down some more scores, and then we'll wrap things up here on the Extra Point Scoreboard Show. We'll start in college football. Good games going on today, or at least a big matchup in Ohio State, Michigan, but did not end up being a close final as Michigan wins it 45-23. The South Carolina Gamecocks upset the Clemson Tigers. Back-to-back wins over top 10 teams in the country for South Carolina, 31-30 this time. They beat Clemson after beating Tennessee last week, so South Carolina ending the season on a strong note for Spencer Rattler and that team. Georgia beating Georgia Tech today, 37-14. No surprise there. Games currently going on. Kentucky beating Louisville, 13-0. Alabama, Auburn going at it in the Iron Bowl, 7-7 ball game. Oregon State going at it, 10-7 Oregon State on top. Michigan State, Penn State today as well. A win earlier today for the West Virginia Mountaineers over the Oklahoma State Cowboys. Back-to-back upset losses for Oklahoma State as West Virginia gets the 24-19 win over the Cowboys. Unfortunately, the Mountaineers still finish at 5-7, so there will be no bowl game for WVU. But a win is a win, and you get to end the season on a high note over a team that at one point was ranked in the top 25 in Oklahoma State. So good win for WVU today to improve to 5-7. The Marshall Thundering Herd also were victorious today with a win over Georgia State, 28-23. As Marshall's two running backs both go for over 100 yards in the win, 28-23 win for the Herd. And they finish the regular season 8-4. We'll see where Marshall ends up for its bowl game. And that's pretty much it in terms of scores that would interest the area. Well, the Maryland Terrapins won as well today over Rutgers. As expected, everybody beats Rutgers, 37-0. Maryland gets the win there. So, again, unfortunately for Bulldog fans, but congratulations to Huntington on pulling off a great win. And, I think it speaks to how good of a program Martinsburg has, is that they're number 3, and probably everybody considers this an upset. But Huntington wins it 28-21. So we will be back for Shepherd football next week as the Rams travel to IUP for the regional championship game. I'm Nick Verzolini saying so long from the studio, and have a good rest of your Saturday, everyone.
WVU Medicine is pleased to introduce 5 new providers who've joined our medical staffs at Berkeley Medical Center, Jefferson Medical Center, and University Healthcare Physicians. Dr. Joseph Ahn, Oncology. Dr. Paige Anderson, Emergency Medicine. Dr. Akanksha Bardwaj, Hospitalist. Dr. Vignesh Gunasakaran, Neonatology. And Dr. Stacy Hanlon, Anesthesiology. WVU Medicine, growing to meet the needs of our community.
Looking to buy a home in the Eastern Panhandle? Thinking about making that big move but don't know where to start? Then call Chris Ross and the Milestone Real Estate Group. Chris is a Martinsburg High School graduate and knows the local market, and he's proven it for the past 15 years at Milestone Real Estate Group. Looking to sell or buy a home? Phone 304-579-7349, and that's 304-579-7349, or go to callchrisross.com. Making milestones is our business.
If you're in an accident, the first thing that you have to do is call 911. You have to get medical care immediately.
The next thing you need to do is call us. When you hire us at the Skinner Law Firm, what we do is we are going to investigate your case, and we're going to lay out the options that you have, all at no cost to you.
We will use all of our resources and all of our experience to get you what you deserve.
The Skinner Law Firm, SkinnerFirm.com.
Is everywhere. I'm your new bangs, and you can't stop staring at me. That's it. Just tilt the rearview mirror over here. And while you're checking me out more times than a library book, your car is wandering into that lane over there. More bangs? Neat. And if you've got cut rate insurance, you could be paying for this yourself. So get Allstate.
Call Martinsburg Allstate agent Gary Kelly today at 304-263-4596.
And that concludes today's postgame show. Be sure to tune in each week throughout the regular and postseason for more West Virginia high school football. Today's game has been brought to you by
Bechtel Jewelers, the Brown Funeral Homes and Cremations, Chris Ross with the Milestone Real Estate Group, the Skinner Law Firm, Hagerstown Ford, the Mansion Ferretti Law Firm, the Mirius Group of Financial Advisors, Orsini's Home Store, Parsons Ford of Martinsburg, Sutton and Janelle Attorneys at Law, CMA Honda of Winchester, and WVU Medicine.
For the best in high school, college, and NFL coverage all season long. Keep it tuned in to Talk Radio WRNR Martinsburg. All rights reserved.